you're tired of being censored on social media, join 6zeros.net. It's black owned, black operated, and black moderated, and we make sure it stays a safe space for us to talk about all things black culture. We also got some cool gear like the FDM Cotton Crew Neck, the Fearless Ancestors Tee, hats, and more. Check us out at 6zeros.net. Hey girl, why are you so sad?
I just got banned from Twitter again.
Should have been on 6zeros.net. Ah.
Tick faster, that'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
Right. That off the screen. All right. Welcome once again to the Beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, Beatzillapdx officially. And this is the weekly wrap-up, of course, as you just saw. And hey, we are here once again. Let me see. So as you are coming in, please hit the like button and please share this on your social media. This, of course, is a smaller platform, but shout out to everybody who has been watching this platform, watching this broadcast. We have actually officially made it over 10,000 watch hours as of last week. So meaning, you know, although subscriber numbers may not be big, what that does mean is plenty of people are still tuning in. And so that's the important thing. So thank you to everyone who's tuning in, to all the ghost followers. I wish you would be subscribers and you too could participate in the chat. But if you are not a subscriber, then you will not be able to participate in the chat. So if you would like to be in the chat with everyone here, you can do so by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the notification bell as well, so you'll be notified every time this broadcast goes live. So let me get this up here. All righty. Let me see what we got in here. All right, one who cares. We got Judah Queen, got Viewer One, the chief moderator in the house, Lawrence Lilly, Silent D Productions, CH464, Buginas. All right, dark skinned brother. All righty, so as everyone comes on in, this is a place of empowerment, not entertainment. Although some things we do are entertaining, you know, because you got to mix in some fun with the heavy stuff, like we say around here. So we have some interesting topics, to say the least, to discuss. We, of course, are dealing with a whole lot worldwide with the Russian-Ukrainian situation, us being as the American people being brought into the mix. Unfortunately, we have nothing to do with it. They are not technically part of the UN. However, people are treating them as such. And I guess as long as you keep telling the same lie in the mainstream media, all is well. So they'll just keep telling the same lie and it'll just be so. You know what I mean? So, it's unfortunate, but thank you so much. Shout out to my chief moderator, Viewer One. Thank you for your donation, your blessing. Peace, blessings, power, and protection be unto you, my sister. Viewer One, definitely a solid piece of the puzzle over here, helping build this little section of New Black Media, as well as helping others try to get in, help where she can fit in, and does a great job without ever asking for any kind of accolades. So I will say props to Viewer One. Rain Love, welcome. Tasha Peters, hey, how you doing? All right. So we have an interesting thing I want to go ahead and get out of the way first. So I'm gonna play this little piece. It's about 4 minutes, and I'm gonna just let this run, and I'll give my take on it after we watch it. Dan Ruck, welcome. But it has to do with, if y'all know, the Florida law right now has stopped. Don't Say Gay? The Don't Say Gay law that they're trying to push. They just now pushed the CRT thing, the ban in CRT. So what you're actually witnessing is an across the board setup of future control of curriculum, even more so. We are moving into a fascist system by the day. And, that at this point, one can say, well, that's conspiracy. I don't think so. Just look at all the pieces of the puzzle that are coming into place. No, it is what it is. We are seeing what we are seeing. Oh, yeah, La Cat. Welcome. All right, we are now officially international. So, with the LGBT movement, they kind of are noticing that the Democrats have they've used them, and it looks like as a group, white supremacy is kind of. It almost looks like they're saying, okay, this move has kind of lost its steam and lost its usefulness. So if you've noticed, when Joe Biden came out, matter of fact, let me show you something real quick because I need to get in here anyway. Where is it at? This one? Okay. So here's an old article on the screen, right? Joe Biden could send a message to Black Americans with this reparation bill. Well, yeah. Well, we see how that turned out. So this is just a message for people out there that may see this. It's time to become political and spiritual adults. Shout out to the Nation of Islam for the other headline of The Beginning of Sorrows from the Final Call, the Swan Song, Part 2. And then, of course, over here to the left, you have the Black News Channel representative who is there to cover the Democratic caucus, primarily, of course, the Black caucus, which is also there. And so she's there to cover that. And she is the representative for the Black News Channel. And if you notice on her mic, that says BNC. And right under that, it says Truth for the Black News Channel. So the point I'm getting at is all of these things that they have thrown at us and all of these different agendas with the immigration. Joe Biden in the State of the Union didn't really mention them, didn't really mention the LGBTQ. And right now, there's a whole situation that's going on in Australia. Australia is in kind of a quandary because they are they are kind of beholden to the United States, and then they're also beholden to China, which with this whole debacle that's going on right now, it's really becoming an East versus West, and it's even going to come down to philosophies. So, with that being said, this is a conversation that you will never see on American news because they would be all. And if this woman who's on this that I'm about to play, if this was a man, especially if this was a black man, just imagine. So when what I'm about to play, this woman here, just imagine if she's a black man, just woo-wee. So check this out, family.
Well, yesterday was International Women's Day, but there is a rift among the sisterhood. Some of the feminists marching in Melbourne's International Women's Day march were abused and heckled by trans activists and union members. They were told the street they were marching on was Trades Hall and they had to leave. Police, as you can see, were on hand to intervene. Now, one of the women who was there is Angela Jones. She is a peer support worker in a women's only crisis centre, and she joins me now. Angela, this was supposed to be a day to campaign for and celebrate the rights of women, but there were a lot of men there and activists who seemed more concerned about trans rights than women's rights.
Yes, that's true, Rita. They were far more concerned about men's rights than women's rights at a feminist march.
Well, let's have a look at a chant. We've got some footage of what was being chanted during this women's march.
What's got to go? Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia! What's got to go? Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Transphobia! What's got to go? Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
So again, it seems to be more about trans rights than women's rights. How were you and other feminists who want to protect women's only spaces treated by some of those women and men?
We were treated despicably. We are long-term feminists. We're women's rights activists. We're advocating for the rights of women, and we were treated like you know, white supremacists or Nazis by the left. It was despicable. We're leftist women. We're grassroots, you know, women's workers, like, you know, in domestic violence shelters, in, you know, recovery services, in places like that. And they treated us like dirt.
Oh, it's interesting you mentioned domestic violence centres, shelters, because that's one of the areas that women like you and other feminists are concerned about, because there are women's only spaces that are really important. To have male bodies in those spaces would be uncomfortable for a lot of women there. So just tell me what the concerns you have are and what the rift is in the feminist movement between your side and those who are abusing you.
Yeah. Well, what we're finding here in Melbourne since trans self-identification has come in is that men are self-identifying into women's only services. But because the marker for what trans is, a lot of these men don't even resemble women. They're men. And they're going to, you know, domestic violence services. They're going to alcohol recovery units. They're going into homelessness shelters. And they're intimidating and terrifying women.
Well, that is a concern, and it's a story that does not get the coverage it deserves, because there's a lot of people in the media who are just uncomfortable with any notion of that happening. And I find it curious that we had so many saying so much about International Women's Day, but they can't say what a woman is. If you ask them to define what is a woman, a lot of them have issues giving you a clear answer.
They give you circular definitions, and usually they say it's a feeling in a man's head. A woman is a woman if they tell you that they are a woman. And of course, with such high rates of mental illness and, self-identification making it so easy for men to identify into women-only spaces, those laws are being abused and men are invading our services.
And finally, we saw the unpleasantness there, people getting into your face, screaming all sorts of ugly things. Is this going to stop you from joining other women's marches?
Well, even though I'm here on Sky, I'm a traditional leftist, I'm a grassroots activist, and, the left has changed, I haven't. I am going to continue to advocate for women's rights, and so are many other women. And we are not afraid of being cancelled. We're not afraid of what they're going to call us, because we're women who prioritise women, and we want every woman and girl and child to be safe.
Well, you know what? You're right. You and I probably don't agree on a lot of things, but when it comes to this, I do admire the old school leftist feminists who've got this principled position and who want to protect women's shelters and protect women's sport. I think that's another area that, again, doesn't get the coverage it deserves, because if you've got a young daughter who plays sport, you want her to compete against other girls, not those who have an unfair advantage.
Well, what do y'all think about that? One thing about that I will say right off the rip is, do you even think that conversation can be had like that in America? Like, could you even get to that without being shamed or name called or anything like that? Because over here, I don't even think you can get that far without anybody even stopping you and be like, oh, wait a minute, that's homophobic, right? So I wanted to play that just for the sake of when people say we have these certain kind of conversations and we're this and we're that. We absolutely are not. Everybody likes to dump their projections onto foundational Black Americans and Black folks abroad, but especially foundational Black Americans, especially when it comes to this transphobic and homophobic line that they always like to push on us, when that ain't the case. Not to mention, are y'all aware that these people over in Ukraine that America is funding, among one of the other groups that they also despise and wish to eradicate, are the LGBTQ groups? So I don't know what people are talking about for Ukraine, because the people who are in their military, why do you think they got told the transgenders they couldn't leave? Who do you think on the front line? They're going to be on the front line with the Black folks that may stay. I'm just saying. So, welcome, Norma X. So next, I'll move to this particular story, because unfortunately, for some reason, Black folks are so Black until they start bringing up the royal family of England. Well, as y'all know, the Prince William is racist hashtag was trending this week. Why? Because, well, he, along with, and see, this is where y'all got to understand this global agreement against us. And now when I say us, I mean foundational Black Americans specifically. But I do mean melanated people abroad, because white supremacy is a global system and we are all subject to it. Heard I said subject to it, so don't hop in nowhere talking about victimhood. No, subject to it. So if you are under a rulership, what are you? You are subject to that rulership. See, people like to talk to us like we stupid. No, this is the scholar class. So if you come over here, you know, be ready for that. So Prince William and Kate Middleton are on a let's clean it up tour. But still, like, I'm going to play this real quick, and you just tell me if you see any, we'll put a 1 in the chat if you see a person you can suspect is not white.
Thank you, and for all the support we're getting from the British people, so we can feel that here. So this used to be, they say it's the heart of the community, this is our social club, the Ukrainian.
Oh, I need to point something out. This was one thing I forgot to say. A lot of those Africans that are in Ukraine are British citizens. Did you hear me? So a lot of those Ukrainian, they're talking about they're not letting them out because they don't have certain papers. These people are citizens of Britain. So being subject of the family that you see here on your screen.
School is upstairs.
We're trying to get it to Ukraine, close to Ukraine. That's what we just put it in Ukraine nowadays. And what's the logistics? Yeah, what's the logistics line like from here? Mostly all the way to
mostly to Poland. There's some Slovak Republic and the Austria around us.
Sorry to interrupt. Could we take pictures of you last volunteers?
Yes, please do take pictures. Yeah, no, at all. Thank you. They're all taking pictures. Feel free.
Just the whole the start. The bigger room is gym class there where we had. But now meeting with big business who can provide power. But humans actually all happen here. The center like that. We hope that with Rona, which is already on the board trying to develop.
Johannes?
Now, as you can see, ain't nothing but white folks in there.
Lots of pictures. Right.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
They have to be in the bomb shelters almost every day. And how do you dispatch it? It's impossible to keep on a 3-year-old.
Stephanie Smith saw one.
So that's
Saw
all
a shadow.
the boots loading for the local civilians that want just to
With no meaning at all.
The irony is it brings everyone closer together. This is the thing. It means Europe brings itself closer together than it's ever been before in support of Ukraine. So it's not going to do
We've been
much.
here in 1955 and the United Nations never again, and here we are. Again in 2022. Yesterday, a 6-year-old kid died from lack of water. It's
these, the stories that you shared with us today, but also the stories we hear. It's real, and making sure that, like you're saying, the awareness is brought to us of these real life stories. People hear about them.
Yeah.
All the different generations we can be able to talk about it.
Talk about their experiences and try to recover. And these are so important, as well as, of course,
Okay, so clearly we get to the one ethnic representative. He clearly ain't Nigerian though, so he's probably Indian. So they probably, because India is a nuclear country, so you're gonna kind of try to take care of their people, but yeah, Aboriginal woman, welcome. Yeah, so what you're seeing right here is a bunch of New World Order soothing. Now, what they'll tell us over here in America, oh, yeah, man, please. These people have actual citizens that the Ukrainians are trying to make fight. And if they don't fight, basically, why do you think they starving them out over there? So they won't get them out. Their own government won't get them out over it. So because these people are Nigerian citizens and British citizens. But they ain't going to go get them out. But they sending all of this money over here to these white folks. You got to be kidding. Now, and this is just letting you know, smoothing it all over like, yeah, pedal to the metal. So make no mistake, this is something that y'all need to pay attention to. And there is a reason why American media is now starting to besmirch China. Now, Australia, what I just played you, they're about to have to make a decision, because if Russia decides to what they just said, they're going to start now putting sanctions on Australia. Russia is playing chess. Now, I've been saying this. Now, notice how none of what I'm telling you is in the mainstream media, but I've been watching this one for a minute. Now, finally, today in their briefing, they're finally telling you about hypersonic missiles being a concern. Oh, yeah, beatzillapdx, yeah, we a little bit ahead of the curve over here.
And presumably speed is of the essence.
Absolutely right, we'll be able to
scale
scale up. So each organisation is expected to take part in those coordinations. So those that want to specialise in health, those that specialise in food, those that specialise in...
So they're still here, yeah? Yeah, this is the medication. So we do not take any specific medication. We try to, this everything that is prescription and...
And we sort of started to forget that it's called a beatzillapdx.
It's around there, yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't think there was any black people that needed to get out of the Ukraine.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for that.
And where are the black people in the UK that have families still over there? Like, there's nobody that wanted to be there to represent anybody else that wasn't white.
So, well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice to chat to you guys.
Thank you.
Nice to see you guys.
Thank you very much and have a nice day.
You know, hey, a couple pictures, all right. I stand with the Ukrainian people. See ya. So he went there. They paid him to go do a spin in the club. That's what they call a walkthrough. They pay artists to do walkthroughs. So they'll pay. Shoot, some people I've seen Bobby V make $5,000 to walk through a club, sit in VIP for 15, 20 minutes, gone. $5,000, just like that. So there, that's called a walkthrough. It's gonna come walk through, boost your club, like, hey, get your club some clout. You know, and hey, we over here popping bottles. Oh, we got selfies. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, are we done? All right, y'all take care. Y'all have a good night. Peace. So next next on the agenda, MC 007. Who else I see coming here? Rayvon Johnson. Welcome. This is a video from this lady who represents the UN. And just, again, one of the reasons why I'm about to play this video is because of the picture I showed y'all just a minute ago. So the Joe Biden could send a message to Black Americans with this reparations bill. Well, what reparations bill? Oh, well, HR 40 nonetheless, which is just a study. Now, since then, just think of the validity of that headline. Joe Biden could send a message to Black Americans with this reparation bill. Well, did he send us a message with this reparation bill, family? I would say so. I would say, yeah. Send us a very, very super clear message with this reparations bill. The fact that it just kind of disappeared, same as the George Floyd Policing Act, to which he ran on. And, now I have Congressional Black Caucus supporters trying to tell me that we can't blame Joe Biden for not mentioning Black folk or not doing anything for Black folks. Well, then you can't sit up here and keep saying he's an ally to our community. This is why, and for some of y'all who see what I do on Twitter, and for those of us who, because some of y'all in my chat, we definitely get it in on Twitter and this is how it's supposed to be. We are supposed to be getting at these representatives. They're supposed to be representing us. If they don't, they need to know our displeasure and why. So it's a perfect balance to get your point across. And then if they want to respond, then they can get their point across. But at the end of the day, they are representing the people, not the other way around. So this woman is just telling me about the midterms. Ma'am, we already have an agenda for the midterms. And the Butter Biscuit Clyburn dude, see, right now, I already see what's going on with Marcel. And I just kind of wanted to see how these new grassroots candidates, what was going to come out the woodwork for these people. And well, lo and behold, we got grassroots dissent agents. And Twitter Spaces is like an anthill. Now, what Twitter Space needs to kind of morph into are people's individual spaces or moving into individual groups. Because there's other apps to where you could use to have untapped meetings. Because, you have a meeting on Twitter. You get the people out there to be like, so what's the plan? Hey, man, you going to drive me? Man, I want the driver's license number, man. What's the business plan? What's the schematics, brother? You going to tell me right here on Twitter? Man, people kill me with that. What's the solution? So anyway, with all of the solutions that we need, one of them, of course, is reparations. That's why these people are in a global agreement to combat our reparations claim. And they're doing it very tough. But never forget, this is also out there in the wind. So, if anybody needs to clip this, you are more than welcome to.
Systemic racism needs a systemic response. We need a transformative approach that tackles the interconnected areas that drive racism and lead to repeated, wholly avoidable tragedies like the death of George Floyd. I'm calling on all states to stop denying and start dismantling racism, to end impunity and build trust, to listen to the voices of people of African descent, and to confront past legacies and deliver redress. We examined death at the hands of law enforcement officials in different countries with varying legal systems and found striking similarities and patterns. Several families described to me the agony they faced in pursuing truth, justice, and redress, and the distressing presumption that their loved ones somehow deserve it. It is disheartening that the system is not stepping up to support them. This must change. Only approaches that tackle both the endemic shortcomings in law enforcement and address systemic racism and the legacies it is built on will do justice to the memory of George Floyd and so many others whose lives have been lost or irreparably damaged.
Okay, family. So if you're not understanding what the point that she was getting at, Tanya Zion, welcome. The point she was getting at is the point that everybody else tries to deter us from. We need them cash payments because you can't lift anybody out of poverty without it. So, yeah. So if the international community is willing to admit that, you would need to really kick in, well, then maybe this is why the EU and America declined that meeting. So they just had to make a declaration. But, never forget, oh, yeah, your precious Joe Biden didn't want any parts of that conversation. Just last year, could have took himself right on over there and responded. No, them and the prime minister and the representatives of America and the EU and the UK, said, oh, we'll take a hard pass. And so what do you see over there in Ukraine? Neo-Nazis. You can't even show up to the UN. You're the big person on the block that holds the UN. And then when they actually put you on Front Street, you decline to go to the meeting. And now you want those very same people to whom that meeting was about to give a damn about these people that we're watching you spend money on. What makes this so bad is we have so many of our own that are on this plantation that are willing to sell us out. And, how you combat that is just simply speaking on it. Because, again, I got to go back to this. This picture right here. It's time to become political and spiritual adults. You understand me? All this money, absolutely, Rain Love, all that money going over to a place full of racists. Well, here is my support of the flag. I'm doing my part. I stand for foundational Black Americans. I stand for reparations and justice. And that's about as much as I'm going to be able to do. Now, there's this other little tasty tidbit that I got to show y'all real quick. And I showed some of my moderators earlier. And if you have been following this broadcast for a while, I've told y'all about the white people for reparations for African people. And what we say, we always got to watch the wording. So I caught that earlier. Who are these people? Well, a lot of the people that are with this group, they are the people who are, a lot of them are on this board out here in California about this reparations situation and trying to expand it to everyone, and the diaspora should be parts of something that only is dealing with one group. I mean, it's the most nuttiest thing, but even to be in that conversation is just simply only to be a distraction. And at this point, I don't even think, for me, there is not really much to discuss. We need tangibles where you can get no damn vote. It's simple as that. And that will be the campaign. You can miss us with all the voter suppression crap. And here's the other part. All this tax money that they talk about. Man, my tax dollars and my tax dollars can't go to pay reparations. Why do my tax dollars have to go to reparations? Why do my tax dollars have to go to this or that? Well, let's take a walk down memory lane. Because this little next ditty cost over $50 million of taxpayer money. Because they had to make sure that they got this man and stuck it to him and got the world some justice. Because this man has got to be just as dangerous as Osama bin Laden. Check this out, family.
Bonds verdict. The baseball star's trial over steroid use ended yesterday, and he's been found guilty of at least one crime that could send him to jail instead of the Hall of Fame. Rob Nelson has the story.
And there's a swing and a hot fly ball right center field. Back it goes, racing back, Logan jumping up, and that ball is gone.
Baseball's home run king walked out of court a convicted felon.
Thank you.
Convicted of obstructing justice. Bonds, a 7-time MVP, sat without emotion as the verdict was read.
1, 2, and 3.
But it's not case closed for Bonds as the verdict was mixed. On the 3 other charges, a mistrial.
The counts which alleged steroids, which alleged needles, which alleged human growth hormone, those were mistried.
At issue, whether Bonds lied under oath to a grand jury that he never knowingly received steroids and human growth hormone from his trainer. After 4 emotional days of deliberating, jurors could not find the evidence.
The evidence that he did steroids might have been there, but did he knowingly do steroids was the question. And we couldn't prove that beyond a reasonable doubt.
Bonds, having looked like this in his later years, looked like this in his early days, seemed to grow before our very eyes. And regardless of the mixed verdict, some critics, of which there are many, are satisfied with this outcome.
It stops one kid in the United States from taking steroids. Then I think this is a very good day for.
Damn, it didn't sure stop that little Russian cheater girl that they let still compete after they stopped Sha'Carri for smoking weed. But yeah, never mind.
Those trying to fight steroids, for those who are trying to tell kids not to take performance-enhancing drugs. Maybe some kids will learn today you can't do this and you can't get away with it, and that would be a very good thing.
Outside of the courthouse, a fan asked Bonds if it was time to celebrate.
Nothing really to celebrate.
For Good Morning America, Rob Nelson, ABC News.
Oh, man. Like I said, $50+ million. Because, I mean, man, you got to get that dangerous Negro off the street. He beat Mark McGwire's record. Who didn't understand white supremacy is that serious about their L's? Who didn't understand that in my chat? Did one of y'all not understand that until right now? Because let me tell you, this is what you're looking at out here in the world. Over $50 million to prove that he cheated because he broke Mark McGwire's home run record. The government. That ain't no private thing. That's the government. The government literally saw a viable case to make him a felon for cheating in basketball. What they do to the sister, took her medals. I don't think she had to do no time, but I mean, good grief. Now, this little Russian girl who we don't want to ruin her life to keep her from competing. The whole United States government went after Barry Bonds for cheating in baseball, in a sport. In a sport. Hey, where's white supremacy? Where's white privilege? I don't see white privilege. I mean, if there's white privilege, well, I've never got mine. Don't let nobody kid you, family. They might be able to, like, if you are from an area that is predominantly black, then, you know, you might fall for those lines. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Oh, I know better. That's why if you ever see me in a Twitter space with going, and there's white folks in there talking crazy, and they'd be like, this, that, and the other. I was like, you can't tell me that. I'm from Portland, Oregon. And the conversation would just die. I'm talking, yeah. Because I could call it. Oh, baby, I could call it. Oh, I could call it. Quick. Oh, yeah, the conversation. Because I see what's happening real quick. You know, I mean, but understand what they call the, what you have, you know, a term I haven't heard in years, white trash. But, and maybe that's the reason, because if we still had white trash as a title, who would that most fit today? It would fit these people that they are trying to bring over here. Would it not? These are middle class and all of this. What you talking about? Not like people fleeing from North Africa. Huh? People act like all of Africa is just desert. It is not. No, I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But the American media is total trash. And if you are still following what they are talking about, believing that they are telling you the truth, and they're not telling you a paid agenda for a cause, this is a cause that the same media you are watching is telling you, forget about neo-Nazis. But Farrakhan is bad because he's an anti-Semite. But now let's go fund these anti-Semites over here because their so-called leader is a Semite. But all of these neo-Nazis up under him is cool with it now. And for all intents and purposes, for those who don't know, Adolf Hitler, also a Semite. People do all this with it. No, yeah, so what did you have? Nazis with a Jewish leader. What did I miss? Maybe I'm missing something, but it looks to me like he was pretty damn spot on. He would be the cause of World War III. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You would have never, maybe Adolf Hitler was a prophet. Because you better go back and understand what was going on. For all of you students of history, y'all better be able to see what's happening. History is literally repeating itself. But here's the problem. While they were in the midst still in the midst of targeting us, they have had to jump the gun and turn on each other. Now, here's what they want us to do. They want us to pacify this battle between them wiping each other out to ensure our own oppression. To that I say. What Shaq say? That means no. Yeah. Yeah, we ain't doing that. So understand like what Martin Luther King was talking about. They're trying to kind of do that again. And they're really spreading themselves thin. And it's so funny, all of these different references that you're hearing. Be like, we need a Brutus. We have government officials calling publicly for the assassination of a world leader who is nuclear, by the way. So if someone did take him up on that and decided to act on that, how does that make things better? See, this is the thought. I mean, okay, let me take you to logic of street shit for a minute. You have one situation that in turn, because somebody feels they need to make this right or wrong, another situation happens. Well, that situation also has arms. That brings that many more situations. Now, all of these situations is just turning into this. When have you ever seen anything like this? So, pow, oh, everybody goes back to roses, flowers, and daisies. When? When does that happen? No. That means that's the beginning. The beginning of you absolutely know. And we're going to get to that because Joe Biden is basically dry warning you now. And for all of the people who could not hear me and all of us in the new black media, but I will say this for me personally because I've been personally attacked by individuals that clearly were funded by the DNC. So, you know, I'll speak for me. Them chickens, them Biden chickens coming home to roost hard and heavy, ain't they? Yeah. This chicken's eggs is made out of stone. You chose wrong. And now the people to whom you're looking to guide you are talking like us. I mean, you talking about maybe voices of new black media. You got about 10 of us, right? From the bigger platforms to the smaller platforms. So I say maybe 10, 15 at the most with actual platforms pushing the steady message. That much is able to be done with that little. See, there's people who I understand shallow base level thinking. So they only believe in what they can touch, which will only allow their creativity to manifest what's in front of them. Meaning, that type of individual would typically have to attach themselves to something else. They would not be able to build it on their own. They would need something else to make it flourish, be it whatever that is. So there's a lot of different things out there that we are dealing with, and it's all about making sure we get off focus. They want us to start talking about this and that, fighting amongst each other, of course. And really, we are on course for reparations. Nothing has stopped. And not only that, we're for reparations, justice, and ultimately, see, here's the thing. Reparations is one element of this mission. But ultimately, destroying white supremacy and replacing it with the system of justice is the goal. And it's been said, so I'm not giving away no secret. It shouldn't have been a mystery. It just lets you know how off focus you really are. But I do understand there's a lot of distractions out here. Unfortunately, y'all chose to elect one. And I hope you are regretting this now.
Watched the television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But just limited to what we have seen. Pregnant women going for health care, being injured by, I don't know, a missile, a bomb, in an unprovoked, unjustified war, where a powerful country is trying to take over another country, violate its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, for the sake of what? Nothing that is justified or provoked? Absolutely, there should be an investigation. And we should all be watching. And I have no question the eyes of the world are on this war and what Russia has done in terms of this aggression and these atrocities. I have no doubt.
There's more.
Willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees. And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
I see a lot of people. I hope a lot of people aren't missing what's going on here. Because, like, when I first saw this, I saw how, like, people were making jokes about the video and talking about it. Oh, she's giggling and yeah. And I totally understand why she wants to laugh. But I think the one thing that most of the family that I've seen post this missed, let me go back to the question, because that's the important part. Because let me know if you hear allocation or the word study.
Is the United States willing to make a specific allocation for Ukrainian refugees? And for President Duda, I wanted to know if you think, and if you asked the United States to specifically accept more refugees.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend in need.
Okay, so this time. Szanowna pani redaktor.
See, when they start talking about the plight of white folk, they played no games. The immediate question was, y'all gonna break them off some bread? Have y'all asked them for some money? They need y'all gonna get in the game and throw some bread over here? They national study on it. Let's pass a law for a study. Oh no, they asked right off the rip for a check. Afro Elite, what's going on, my brother? You said she laughs like a villain. Man, Desmond Works, what's going on? Oh man, Zena AJ, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, she definitely laughs like a villain. She got the old coon laugh. I don't really have anything. Oh Lord, painful. So needless to say, with all of this stuff going on, you got the Congressional Black Caucus out here. The first thing they did is started meeting with the Hispanic caucus because they're talking about how there wasn't enough black representation in the media at this event. It's like, well, what would make you think that there would be black representation? See, here, this is how you know it's game. These people be around everyone. You know who's in Washington, D.C. Your office is in Washington, D.C., not mine. So you know who's around every day. And all of a sudden, oh, wow, we over here, man. We need more black press in here with us, man. The hell out of here. Hell out of here. You trying to save face because y'all got lambasted this week on Twitter for y'all effery. You understand? Because y'all been on some BS, man. And we keep asking and demanding and telling you on all of your little threads exactly what the community needs, what the community wants, what the community demands of you, and you just refuse to do everything. You just go right back out there and act like we ain't talking. And then we get your people in the media who have to shift talking points because those of us over here can get that much done. Just pushing the truth out that you have to now acknowledge it. But let's be clear. See, that's how much you can do against falsehood, because all you got to do is just say the truth and everything else just falls in line, don't it? Well, it looks like, oh, that's right. They won't let me play that. I'll try to get that. There's a, I think it's my moderator, Judah Queen, sent the Facebook joint. They were looking to see if I could find it. They are, hopefully I can get this in here. Oh, cool. So they had a rally. I'm not sure where this is. Judah Quinn, if you do know where this is, you could by all means add this into the chat. But they did a Emmett Till piece and demanded and are demanding some justice be done about Carolyn Bryant. And I ain't mad at this at all. I am not mad at this at all. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this, kind of skip through it. So let's check it out.
She needs to be charged for her role in Emmett's kidnapping and murder. We will hear from our guests who are demanding justice. Followed by that will be a Q&A. And then after the press conference, we will deliver our Justice for Emmett Till petitions. Our first speakers I'm going to call would be Emmett Till's cousin, Deborah Watts, followed by Priscilla Stir. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Deborah Watts, cousin of Emmett Till, also co-founder of the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation. I'm standing here today on the shoulders of our shooter, the mother of Emmett Till, Mamie Till-Moore. I've been leading an organization for the past 17 years It's a 501c3 organization established in memory and legacy of Emmett Lewis Till and his mother, Mamie Till Mobley. And through one of our institutes, which is called ETIL, it's the Emmett Till Institute for Leadership and Learning, we're creating a legacy of hope and building a bridge from the past to the present and the future by bringing awareness to Emmett's place in history and his relevance today. We're offering scholarships and programming and curriculum and opportunities and support that equip and educate and inspire and empower our youth and their families to achieve their fullest potential for a better tomorrow, all things that Emmett never was able to experience. After Mamie Till Mobley's 47-year fight for justice, she left this earth not knowing if there would ever be justice for his brutal murder. But she also left open his casket, so we would bear witness to the hate that has been embedded in our DNA since the slave ships arrived in America. We made a promise to Mamie that we would persist, and that's why we're here today. As we continue to open the casket, it's important for you to know that Emmett's murder remains unsolved and that the last living accomplice in the murder case is Carolyn Bryant. And yes, she is alive. She denies that she recanted her story, that Emmett made sexual advances towards her. Those things were found in a book by an author. I won't name him. But it's the blood of Emmett Till. And her family stands by the lie that she told in 1955. She lied and Emmett died. We demand that the state of Mississippi hold Carolyn Bryant Donham accountable for her role in the kidnapping and lynching of Emmett Lewis Till. Charge Carolyn Bryant Donham now. I want to close by leaving you a quote that Mamie wrote. And she said, "We're only given a certain amount of time to do what we were sent here to do. You don't have to be around the wrong time to share the wisdom of a lifetime. You just have to use your time wisely, efficiently. There's no time to waste, and that time is now. That's why we stand here today. Time is not on our side. We say, the state of Mississippi and authorities, charge Carolyn Bryant Donham now." Thank you. That's the end of my email.
Straight up. So the my moderator, Drew the Queen, put that link in the chat. And so if you want that link, it is in the chat. Can I pin it? Let's see if I can pin it. Oh, wrong one. Let me pin it. Let me pin it. The chat was moving. There we go. Pin that message. Okay, hopefully that should pin it. Did I get it? I was trying to pin it to the chat. Okay, there we go. Okay, it is pinned in the chat. All right. So, yeah, hold Carolyn Bryant accountable. And for those who don't know, you know, she's pretty much the reason. The Emmett Till murder is one of the main reasons for the kickoff of the civil rights movement, all to begin with. So for her to still be living, people talk to us and say, "Well, this has been so long ago," and all of this. No, it really hasn't, because Carolyn Bryant's still alive, and she was old enough at the time to lie and go have her husband murder and maim a child and feel no way about it. Of course not. So one of the things that I want to get to tonight, because the next thing I'm going to play, I might open the phones tonight, because one thing I do want to talk about is Joe Biden. And, understanding he did a press conference, I think yesterday or maybe earlier today. And we're going to have to take a good, solid listen to what some of the things he had to say, because they're important. So before I get to that, let me get to this. So, like I said, let me get this out the way. Oh, and by the way, y'all know Jussie Smollett done got his 5 months. So, yeah, that's that. But anyway, like I was saying earlier, this woman here is one of the women who is part of the white women group behind the black group that's pushing for reparations for everybody, African people in California. So this is one of the women that is part of that group. So if you didn't understand, yes, it's a black group on the face, but behind it, where the money is coming in at, you got this. And then on the right is a message of hers. So, you just can kind of get a vibe of her flavor. Big black African American men do it better. Yikes. And then also, when you see these people, understand these are part of the people who are in this pact. The the global agreement of being anti-FBA and the fight against reparations. And so what I want you to see right there on the screen, you see that positive fraud. I guess you could probably apply this to quite a many people. But look at that right there. Positive fraud. That is an actual thing. You probably have never seen that on anybody else's broadcast over here in any of these spaces. And so let's just read that definition, shall we? First off, positive fraud. Definition of positive fraud. It's a noun. Actual deceit. Concealing something or making a false representation with an evil intent to cause injury to another. And you want this person in your reparations conversation. We have this person here representing us to elected officials representing a black news channel. That doesn't make much sense now, does it? Unless you were really actually just in agreement of being anti-foundational Black American and clearly fighting against our reparations. Am I missing something? So, with that being said, once again, my tribute to the Ukrainian situation. I stand for foundational Black Americans. I stand for reparations and justice. If being a truce breaker believes gets you justice for breaking your truce, then so be it. Because we over here in the righteous community, we can't bid truce breakers Godspeed, and we definitely cannot condone false propaganda. Like the fact checkers and whatnot. Yeah. So let me see. What do I got? Let's see. Oh, let me play this real quick because this is funny. This is funny. This here is funny. Okay, let me see where we at here. All right. So I guess Kellyanne Conway is kind of taking her little stab at the Red Witch. So, this is funny. These things are meant to happen. We're seeing people, basically a bunch of infighting, and it ain't got nothing to do with us, man. Our name is Bennett, and we ain't it.
Senior counselor to President Trump, author of Here's the Deal. Kellyanne, they're obviously trotting out this talking point. We called it out, I think, on Monday. They're gonna say it's all Putin's fault all the way into the midterms. Are Americans ultimately going to buy this when we start seeing those fuel bills come in and the air conditioning costs for the summer?
No, Laura. In fact, Americans know that everything they basically said is not true. They've all been lies. The border surge was not seasonal. It's the record. They've created records there. Inflation was not transitory. It's here to stay. The CPI today, as you pointed out, 7.9%. The Biden administration continues to break all these records in all the wrong ways. And it's not just partisans saying this. It's all the polls saying this, particularly independents who have really migrated away from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's lack of accomplishments. There's very little confidence in their competence, and every poll out there shows major disapproval, majority disapproval, on their handling of all these diverse issues, from immigration to inflation to the crisis in Ukraine to obviously what we're paying in the grocery store, the gas pump, the supply chain crisis. And Joe Biden, he has this way, Jen Psaki, of playing the blame and game, name and shame nonsense of Washington. But it would rely on the American people believing it. And they've lost credibility, not just in their message and their messengers. Laura, I like to say the Democrats this administration doesn't have a messaging problem. They have a fact problem. And it is reflected in the polls. They don't seem to do anything well. Finally, blaming Putin for the gas prices completely forgets that gas was about $2 a gallon on Election Day 2020.
No,
it's more than doubled now, and it had gone up 40% before Russia invaded Ukraine. Hakeem Jeffries at the Democratic retreat is telling everybody, oh, it's Putin's fault. It's not. None of it works. People are smarter than that, and people are fearful.
Yeah.
They're fearful.
I think people are if they're just now beginning to really see the increased cost of living across the board on everything they buy, and the summer season is going to be expensive. But the media, Kellyanne, not surprising to you, but the media, especially CNN, are circling the wagons and trying to say that this is really a narrative that needs to be explained. So we have to explain the reasons for sacrifice to the American people. Watch.
Many politicians act as though it's President Biden who caused inflation and that he can fix this. Can he do something about it?
Well, he can do things at the margins, but no, I mean, he did not cause the war, which caused prices to surge. Now, inflation was already rising for sure. We had supply chain issues. Some of that was actually because of good news, meaning a really strong recovery.
Kellyanne, inflation was good news? What?
It's never good news. And in fact, people know presidents can do that. We recently had a president who did keep all of those cost of living measures down. We know that the Tax Cut and Jobs Act at the end of 2017 unleashed so much prosperity, repatriated all that money back that was overseas. And Laura, this country is suffering. There's a lot of uncertainty, chaos, insecurity. Because of these policies, you cannot kill 42,000 energy jobs on day one of your administration, and out the door with that goes 800,000 barrels per day in domestic oil production, and convince people that it's not your fault. You can't have...
All right. Did you catch that part? Because, see, remember his Clean Air Act or whatever the hell he signed in the day he got inaugurated? Yeah. Also, though, I can add to that. And let me do something. Let me add to that. Okay. So he's done all of this within what? A year? Inflation. And all of the stuff that he ran on, he ain't even talking about no more. Now, what he's trying to do is trying to say, hey, now we had to stop this pipeline. We had to stop these jobs. Come on. So we're gonna listen to old Joe here. I think we'll do a quick little break here. And we're gonna come back and hear Joe, because that part that she just said, basically his whole speech explaining. And not to mention, be clear, his speech to the people that he's talking to, like, this is basically like the Democratic retreat. So for all intents and purposes, family, we're gonna have to, we're going to put our time in and on this one and take a listen to this dude speak. Because truth be told, everybody that's in there is on the mission that he's pushing today. So, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. But first, let's get this little break going, and then let me prepare you, get your sage in, because you're about to hear a whole bunch of lying from a person to whom you'll be like, man, for those of y'all who got Biden sexuals in your house watching this, turn the TV up. So yes, this is the weekly wrap up. We are right here on the beatzillapdx official show. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. Blah, 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 blah.
Are y'all ready to hear from President Joe Biden? Are House Democrats in the House right now? Are you fired up? Are you ready to go? Thank you, all of you. It's my honor and my privilege to introduce a woman who really needs no introduction, but nonetheless, we'll just give her a brief but appropriate one. I'm so thankful for the House Democratic Caucus, all of your brilliance and effort and heart and commitment. This is an incredibly diverse caucus, a caucus that represents the American people in the most authentic fashion, closest to the people, fighting to build a better America for the people. We're a great orchestra filled with brilliant people.
All of that would be great. Having representation that actually represented our agenda would be great, though, dude. So let me get past him. And let me get past Nasty. And let's hear Commander-in-Chief.
Keeping the alliance together. Let me first say that I'm so sick and tired of trickle down. When the military
found you. This is a president who has a great vision for our country. We see that every day. He has vision and values that go with it. He's a president who has knowledge and therefore judgment about policies that can work. You know his career. I don't have to go into it, but we do know that every day in his life he has made a difference in his political and official life. A president who is strategic in his thinking, who knows the path to get something done, and a person with such authenticity, such sincerity about what he believes in. He knows that kitchen table. His family has sat at that kitchen table when he was a little boy, in Pennsylvania, and then moved to Delaware. So again, God has blessed us with the timing of this presidency, with this person who is...
We know what God she means.
Just making such a tremendous difference in the lives of the American people. So what a joy for us to be able to welcome him as we discuss how we go forward and how we impress upon the American people that their concerns are our concerns. We sit with them at that kitchen table, and we are determined, again, to win the election, to make the difference. And our message will be the message of the President of the United States, our special guest today, President Joe Biden.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please sit down. Please. I've been to enough Senate caucuses and Democratic retreats to know that when the last speaker is up, we want to get the hell out of here, no matter who it is. But thank you. Look, folks, let me begin by saying that when I ran, and a lot of you helped me, a lot of good people ran, I made it clear I was running for 3 reasons. Because I had no intention of running for office again. One left the vice presidency. But when I saw those folks come out of those fields down in Charlottesville, carrying torches and singing Nazi slogans and carrying swastikas and white supremacists, I decided to get engaged. The point is...
That fired him up, I guess, because he sees the same thing going on over there in Ukraine and their armed forces, and they're lifting bans over there to fund them to send them $16 billion. Go figure. So I guess he was stirred up, wasn't he? Thanks for enlightening us, Joe.
I had a message which I didn't consult with anybody about generating to begin with, which was not viewed as being very saleable. First was that I thought it was essential to literally restore the soul of this country, a sense of decency and honor, a sense that you could trust one another, just restore the soul of the country, because what we were seeing was not who we are. And among some of our Republicans, what they're saying is still not who we are. The second thing I wanted to do, that's been the essence of my whole career from the time I ran 20 miles from here, a 29-year-old kid for the Senate, was that I wanted to rebuild the backbone of the country. And the backbone of the country is the working class and middle class. I'm so sick and tired of trickle down. When the middle class does well, the poor have a way up.
Trickle down. He's so tired of the trickle down. Well, Joe, so are we. The trickle down thing has clearly not worked for foundational Black Americans. That much is clear. So yeah, we are very much sick and tired of it too. Reparations would greatly aim to extinguish that problem. Seems like a great deal to me. I mean, we got other people asking your vice president, are you already ready to allocate funds for people? So clearly you got it.
and the wealthy do just fine. They do just fine. And the third thing, which a lot of you didn't like, I know, I thought we had to unify the country, because ultimately we are a democracy. And there needs to be, for it to work, there has to be consensus. And the consensus, you got to get a majority. We've not been able to do that for a lot of the important things. That's why we have to continue to maintain our majority. This off-year election, in my view, may be the most important off-year election in modern history, because we know what happens. We know the fundamental change that shifts if we lose the House and Senate. The only thing I'll have then is a veto pen. And so, folks, I want to thank Nancy for your introduction, for your friendship all these years, Nance, and Paul, thank you as well. And I want to thank the extraordinary job you've done delivering the omnibus, just like you delivered so many critical pieces of legislation last year. And Hakeem and Steny and Jim and Emmanuel Cleaver and Pete, Congresswoman Catherine Clark, and all of you out there. Let me first say that I want to thank you. Thank you for the support you provided Ukraine. I was on the phone today for
Yeah, and too bad you weren't busy, actually supporting the people who are telling you what they want, because you call yourself Congressional Black Caucus. But yeah, he's thanking you for supporting Ukraine. Cool, you guys are furthering neo-Nazi support. Good going, Black Congressional Caucus. Jeez.
a better part of an hour with Zelensky, who I speak to almost daily. The people of Ukraine have demonstrated a remarkable source of bravery and courage, but the security assistance that you've provided has been absolutely critical.
Cowardly fleeing. Courage? Being racist in the midst of bombs dropping, supposedly. Oh, okay. But you still got black folks stuck over there. I think there's some Ghanaians over there that are still stuck, can't get out. And you trying to make outsiders fight your war while you sent your people out. Not to mention, the business that y'all got going on ain't got nothing to do with their home government either. Ain't gonna have them out there trying to fight your war. And not to mention, this ain't no damn war. Ain't nobody declared war on nothing. So I don't even know why, that's again, y'all need to pay attention. War has not been declared. Like they say, Vietnam War, that wasn't a war either. It lasted that long because it was a conflict, but it was not a declared war. There's a difference. Ask any veteran.
Critical in their defense. Second, I want to thank you for showing a unified front to the world. When Putin unleashed his assault, he thought he could divide NATO. He thought he could literally divide this country, the West, the United States, in terms of the parties. I know a former ambassador knows that out there. He thought he could divide them.
Code speak. So Putin thought that he could divide even the parties? What does that mean? Oh, he's talking about the misinformation targeted at foundational Black Americans. I guess for all intents and purposes, when I guess they could have probably targeted some things. But see, here's the thing. They aren't responsible for the outcome at all. Because who do you think has a better pulse on our community? New Black Media or Russia? So we are saying we're not voting, no tangibles, no vote. A silent no voting protest to make sure we get tangibles when you need, that lets people know they're serious when you boycott. And then we to get people to, oh, well, our ancestors died. No. They died for justice and freedom and equality. So if you're getting nothing, that ain't what your ancestors died for, and you are making their blood a disgrace. Oh, golly. Where was I at? Let me get back there.
No, I'm serious. Hundreds of millions of dollars in value. They're luxury apartments. Totality.
Wait a minute. There you go.
Than we do. Just like in the oil embargo. A lot of them could not. The only way took, I think you know, weeks to work out. I said, we're going to block oil, Russian oil and energy. We consume 15% of it. They rely totally on it. Without Russian oil, they're going to find themselves in a position where they get choked off in a way that far exceeds anything we do. Anything we do. So it took a long time sitting with my counterparts and saying, look, we're going to block oil, but I'm not going to ask you to do it. I'm going to say to you, you do what you can. I'm going to explain why it's not rational for you to do the same thing. In the meantime, we're going to help you get energy through liquefied natural gas and a whole range of other things. The point is, revoking PNTR for Russia has made it harder for Russia to do business with the United States, but in doing it with unison with our allies that kept together make up half the global economy, half of it. It's a crushing blow to Russia. Along with our partners and allies, we've stepped up pressure on corrupt Russian billionaires. We're increasing coordination among the G7 countries and to target, capture the ill-begotten gains, the yachts. You see some of these yachts 450 feet long. No.
So take note to the game, family. This is like the marching orders for all the little Democrat minions that are going to start coming out. So they're going to start, man, just wait until you hear somebody talking about, so all the money that they getting over there, I mean, that could be going to, I mean, shoot, what do you know? I mean, I might be able to go to reparations. Like, if y'all been listening to Tariq Spaces, the one dude from South Carolina that keep calling Tariq, and he's like the he's the consummate Democrat. He don't even know why, and he still think that like Trump is running. Like Trump might run, but I mean that has nothing to do with Black America. Foundational Black Americans, no tangibles, no vote. We are our own thing. Either side can do business with us. That's what Black folks didn't seem to understand about Ice Cube. Ice Cube is saying, well, hey, this is who's going to talk to me, so let me go see where I can get a deal. Black folks is like, if we can't get reparations from the Democrats, all is lost. Now, what would happen if we got reparations from the Republicans? What happens? Rain Love said he sounds slow. Yeah, he sounds like quite a few people I've heard. And I hear, I mean, let's get it. There's a lot of people in them churches that got educations that sound just like him. Their logic is no deeper than his. And they got educations. You understand me? So now I can't just write him off like that. But he do sound slow. That's that lean.
I'm serious. Hundreds of millions of dollars in value. They're luxury apartments. The totality of our economic sanctions and export controls are crushing the Russian economy. The ruble has lost, I know many of you know this in detail, lost more than half its value. You know what the value of a ruble is versus a dollar? You'd need 200 rubles to equal $1 today. 200. Moscow Stock Exchange is closed for a simple reason. I get asked, well, why is it closed? Because for the last 2 weeks, because the moment it opens, it will be disbanded. You hear me? It will blow up. credit.
You know, no one seems to take in mind this worry. And, you know, here's something I want to point out. With him trying to go ahead and tie up the loose ends of getting the cryptocurrency falling under certain, what they call it, deep state regulations. They're doing a dry run over here by sinking the ruble. What's next? And you have a whole bioweapons facility over there, 2 of them, allegedly funded by the United States government or subsidiaries of that, allegedly. And so far, you know, I've had some of my videos that it's amazing. You know, I've never known for other governments to unilaterally be called fake news. That's interesting. And you know what? I don't know how you missing context. Family, my video for the dead bodies, where they showing you the little fake dead bodies, do you know that they trying to hit my thing with false information and have covered it on Instagram? It's like, come on, man. But let me see, where's this dude? Because he's saying some more crap that I really want y'all, because he started getting into some New World Order talk. Let's see.
Putin's war against Ukraine was never be a victory. Democrats are rising to meet the moment, rallying the world on the side of peace and security. We're showing the strength and we'll never falter. But look, the idea that we're going to send in offensive equipment and have planes and tanks and trains going in with American pilots and American crews, just understand, and don't kid yourself, no matter what you all say, that's called World War III, okay?
Y'all catch that? So here's something, and again, like I said, the Pentagon and all of this. So these more up-to-date military briefings that are happening. I hope y'all be tuning in to C-SPAN, because I've told you, family, like we talk about a lot of black issues here. This is where I told y'all this issue is going to start affecting us. So when I started telling you about China and their missiles, and then when I played how China is kind of starting to squeeze on Australia, it's like, okay, the pieces are getting set. So it's kind of America sitting in a tough spot. And the only way out is war. Right here on this program, I told you that. The only way out is war. We aren't letting up. They understand that. So you got to go get another answer. Because we're demanding reparations and we're willing to let your party die. This is his means to making that happen. And I mean, this man already got one foot in the grave. So hell, what does he care, right? You got giggling, cackling Kabami, who she don't know which way is up. So as far as that's concerned, see now Joe here got his finger on the trigger.
Let's get it straight here, guys. That old expression, don't kid a kidder. Now I'd like to speak to our broader purpose here today, to remind everybody where we were a year ago, where we've gotten since, the direction we're headed in. And all of you know that today is the anniversary, as Nancy said, since we passed the American Rescue Plan. Within the first month of an office, thank God you did it. And anybody thought we're going to pass a bill that's...
Family, did any of y'all benefit from his American Rescue Plan? because I know under Donald Trump, we had well, people did. I didn't, but the people had the unemployment extras. Three what was it? 3 or 4 stimulus checks? At least 3, right? And then one under Joe Biden. But our signness in the law was great. Well, yeah, we saw that money go to a bunch of Afghan refugees and people who flooded the border. And I guess the rest of the money went to sending all those Negroes back down to Haiti. Just give it just my eye.
$1,900,000,000,000? Going to do that? Well, yeah, you did it. I ask you, and you did it. Few pieces of legislation, no hyperbole, in American history have done more to lift this country out of a crisis than what you did. It took about 2 million Americans before.
How about building the country, Joe? That would be one. You understand me? Maybe just build one.
Before I was sworn in, 2 million Americans have been vaccinated. Today, because of the efforts what you voted for, we have more than 250 million Americans fully vaccinated. You all remember the lines of cars? Remember nice-looking cars stretched for...
Nice-looking cars. You said they trying to freeze me. That's funny because I'm looking at an excellent signal right now. So who knows what's going on out there? It should not be freezing because it's playing pretty good over here. So hopefully you don't have to go out. If you're on your TV, you might have to go back out or go in or maybe just fool with the settings. And if you're on your computer, just refresh the screen.
Hours and hours to muck in just to get a box of food. Well, guess what? Stretching those miles and miles no longer is happening. That box of food is not only in the table, in the trunk. Because of that law, 41 million people put food on their table and are putting it on the table who wouldn't have been able to. Because of that law, we helped to keep a roof over 4 million people's heads who were about to be evicted. And we gave families what my dad used to call just a little bit of breathing room. Just a little.
I know for the most part, it was the majority of states. Now he kept the moratorium going for a while, but that's been off. So there's no federal moratorium or whatever. I think there's still one in my state, but you have to file for it. But yeah, so somewhat true, Joe, but not quite.
A little bit of breathing room because we took action. We created 6.7 million jobs last year, more than any other time in American history, and we hadn't stopped. Last month, we created over 678,000 jobs in February. To get us well over 7 million jobs. Unemployment is down 3.8%. The economy grew 5.7%, the best economic growth in the last 4 decades. And the leading financial firm on Wall Street, Moody's, estimates that because of the rescue plan, 4 million more jobs are created. Unemployment is 2% lower than it would have been, and had we failed to ask. And it didn't cause the inflation. Look, there's more to the story than that. Many of you remember when we went through that last financial crisis in 2008, I had the dubious distinction of the president standing before all of you and said,
Make no mistake about that. The financial crisis in 2008, that was an election year. So, it was needed at the end of George W. Bush's 8 years to go ahead and get the hell up on out of there. But see, here's the thing. All of these people have money involved in weapons and stuff like that. So, these people have businesses. They have personal business interests in a lot of the stuff that's been going on. So that's what a lot of people don't be knowing. It's like, oh yeah, they ain't no good Samaritans. Oh, they trying to watch the money. And like I said, to me, it looks like they're trying to watch the money that they didn't want nobody to know about.
And Sheriff Joe is going to take care of the Recovery Act? Well, guess what? The economy recovered, but underneath the recovery, just like every other recovery in our history, there was a lot of pain, a lot of pain. Republicans in Congress refused to give President Obama the additional recovery funds he asked for. And the truth is, a lot of folks never got back on their feet. A whole lot of young people saw their futures dim, diminished. They didn't get back on track. And what's economists called the economic scarring that occurred as a consequence of that recession. The chronic pain when an economy comes back, but some of the folks are left behind and left behind almost permanently, trapped in long-term unemployment, evictions and foreclosures. Study after study showed that when you're stuck in that cycle, it has the worst impact on your emotional health and that of your children and your family members that you can imagine. And that's serious. So when I came to office in the midst of this crisis, I was determined not to let that happen. Together, we made the choice to ask for all that we needed, to leave nobody behind, to minimize the pain and the hopelessness and despair that so many had just lost their jobs, lost everything, through no fault of their own. And look what happened. It isn't just that unemployment rate has dropped at a record pace. We've also seen the biggest drop in long-term unemployment ever recorded in American history. Nearly 2.5 million Americans.
Kind of easy to pull that off when you're like coming right back after a shutdown. So everything's opening back up. Man, look what I did, man. See? Oh, man, I'm great. Like, everything's kind of starting to open back up. So, man, all the jobs are open up. And so I did this. See, I'm the one who got you all money. Happy. Lord. Oh, God. Why'd that do that again? Oh, Lord. Let me back over here. There we go.
Price of gas went up. Everybody's felt it. You talked about it. It mattered. It mattered. But let's be absolutely clear about why prices are so high right now. They're very high for two reasons, notwithstanding what the Republicans say. COVID, number one. What happened was, the way the global economy works, if a factory in Taiwan makes computer chips, shuts down because of COVID, it causes a ripple effect that can slow down the manufacturing in Detroit, which it did. One hitch can hold up everything. Because of the pandemic, we've had disruption in our supply chain materials and important materials. At the same time, the strength and speed of our economic recovery and families making more money still kept up. So here you had the unusual situation that during the pandemic, people had money to spend. But what they didn't do is they didn't want to go to restaurants. They didn't want to go out and go on vacations. They didn't spend money on leisure activities. So they wanted to spend it on other things, on hard goods, home improvements, televisions, additions to their homes. The very products that slowed down by disruption of the supply chain because there weren't people cutting 2x4s because of COVID. They were shut down. I could go on and list, you all know this. I'm preaching to the choir here. So what happened? Prices went up exponentially. Just take a look at automobiles last year. 1/3 of all the inflation in America last year was because of the price of automobiles. People had the money to buy automobiles, finally. But because the companies couldn't get semiconductors, they couldn't make the automobiles. As a result, the price of automobiles skyrocketed. And used cars, the reason used cars went up because when the COVID hit and the leisure industry shut down, the rental cars sold all their stock. And so people were in real trouble. The second big reason for inflation is Vladimir Putin. From the moment he put his over 150,000 troops on the Ukrainian border, the price of gasoline in January went up 75 cents. And Putin began amassing troops along the border, and guess what? The world took notice. And those of you who work in the business know that the market anticipated. Prices went up more. And then Putin invaded. Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. I love, the Republicans saying it's Biden's gas pipeline. Biden said he's going to stop the Keystone.
Our prices over here because of Putin? And that don't make no damn sense.
Pipeline, and I did. And that's the reason prices went up. Folks, let's get something straight here. The Keystone Pipeline was 2 years away and had been 2% finished. Give me a break. Give me a break. Headline.
You're the president,
in the
dude.
New York Times. Republicans wrongly blame Biden for rising gas prices. And it goes on to explain why gas prices are so high. Washington Post op-ed by Dana Milbank. Opinion, Biden heeded Republicans' plea to ban Russian oil. They pounced. And it goes on to talk about why it's gone. Don't let anybody tell you anything you did supporting the idea that we block Russian oil coming into the country, which is going, and I said at the time, prices are going to go up for gasoline. It wasn't anything we did. And by the way, you're in a situation right now where if you take a look, the idea, can we pump more oil? There are now, there are 172 gas and oil rigs running.
Now it's he getting into he was hella confident a minute ago, huh? He's talking about Ukraine. He was hella confident. Now he has to explain. He has to explain this inflation away. He had a complete loss for words.
There are 519 in operation before this all began. But guess what? They have over 7,000 permits to dig oil if they want. Why aren't they out pumping oil? Why aren't they out pumping oil? Because they've said, and they're very clear, Wall Street bankers have made it very clear. Not a joke. Check it out. And I recommend these two articles to you, just as a little bit of a primer. You probably already know it. What's happened? Well, the oil companies and executives, they don't want to pump more oil, although they have every capacity to do so. Nothing is slowing them up from doing it if they want to. Why? Rather than spend the profits in the increased price of gasoline, they would rather take those profits and buy back stock, buy back their own stock, rather than take that money and invest it in pumping new oil. Not a joke.
Well, trying to stay afloat might do that to you, Joe. So this is basically what's going on. And he's definitely babbling. So let me get to this other piece here. A little further down.
We're coming back stronger than ever before. And by the way, one of the things I've done, I didn't know, maybe you all knew it, I didn't know when I was in the Senate, I should have, that there's law in the books.
Listen.
It's called Build America. You're allowed to insist, I get to spend, as your president, allocate the spending of $600 billion. Everything from the decks of aircraft carriers to a whole range of fleet of automobiles, all the things we spend money on in the government. Well, the law says that the President of the United States can say all those products have to be made in America. Well, what happened initially, we just got really lax, Democrats and Republicans, I might add, and said, here's the deal. If it has 55% American-made product and 45% is from foreign sources, that's okay. Not my book. So I just signed an executive order saying it's got to be a minimum of 75% to start. It's going to go up. And I think it's the third executive order I signed that no department can give a waiver for a non-American made product in any American product we're buying.
But you'll lift the ban against funding neo-Nazis. I think I played enough. I just want y'all to hear the type of rhetoric you're about to start hearing during this up-and-coming election season. Because man, these people ain't cool. And what they are trying to do is usher in a new world order. You are hearing them tell you that. You're hearing him tell you if they're already getting troops established, so they are getting ready to kick off World War III. There's a lot of things coming down the pike, and y'all got to be ready for it. I'm just giving you the information that you need to understand you are in the thick of it. This is reality. It's funny. You know, and I'm sure there are probably some people who might have tuned in today for other reasons. But no. This is not the entertainment platform. This is the upliftment platform. And, you know, that's what we do here. And that's what we will continue to do. Very seldomly will I ever have to roast anyone, you know. And again, if I do again, it will only be worth my time to do so. So, you know, with that being said, let's see. There's something else I want to play too. Let me see if I can. Let me do something real quick. See if this will work. No, I have to do it over here, huh? Okay. Can't do it in here. So let me see if I can get something. I'm using a different window because, hey, you notice I didn't freeze yet, so I guess we're doing good. Rain Love said Biden is one of the old ass needs to Venezuela for oil. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what's funny? If I was Venezuela, I would if I dealt with America, I would be taxing the hell out of them. Because, see, I remember when Hugo Chavez went up at the General Assembly right after Barack Obama got done speaking. I'll never forget what he said. He said, "This podium still smells like sulfur." You know, for those who don't know, there's a Hebraic translation of Barack Obama in the Bible. Would be in red letters for those who have red Bibles, red letter Bibles. It says, "In that day I seen Satan fall from the sky like lightning." In phonetic language, that means Barack Obama. Here we are on the brink of World War III with his understudy. Some people may say you conspiracy theorist individuals. Yeah, well, one thing I can tell you is there ain't near a ballot that you can count with me or my wife on it that says Barack Obama or anyone. Because at the end of the day, that was something that just rubbed me wrong. And the one thing that I knew was wrong is that I know white people all too well. So the factor that he is not from the descendants of slavery like us, he ain't like us. Now, this is true, this money. But the first time it was all about Barack Obama not being a descendant of a slave. You know how he got the black vote? Michelle and her mama and then her brother always showing up. That's why they played that up so much. I hold my mother-in-law and this and that. Yeah, my mother-in-law in the house be cooking. So you understand? So what goes around, it's like a boomerang. What goes around is coming back around. And so here we are in the midst of Joe Biden's tragic ending of America, which is his job to do. This is what he was here to do. He is literally the youngest in the Senate. He's the first youngest in the Senate. And now he's the first oldest president. Because these Negroes thought they were so progressive that they found an even older white man than Donald Trump. And just called it good because he wasn't Donald Trump. I don't know what to tell you. But I mean, good Lord, if this is the type of stuff that you guys are feeding into and believing, geez, man, we are in trouble as a people. You said Michelle Obama is Barack Obama's beard right now. Yes, indeed. YouTube messing with me. You know what's so crazy is, and then right now, like, I'm not even sharing a video. Like, what you messing with me for? And they over there freezing. Let's see. And now, and let me look at my studio. What do I see here? Everything look good over here, of course. So I guess I'll just say if something was wrong, I ain't gonna see it. And again, for those of you who have, like I said, been following this broadcast, I appreciate it. Clearly, y'all have been taking in this content to get me over 10,000 hours of watch time in less than 2 years. I don't even know if we're at a year and a half yet. Yeah, I guess now roughly we're at a year and a half. We're at a year and a half. Yeah, so we will be, 2 years come, I believe, September. We will be 2 years. The beatzillapdx official show platform will be 2 years old in September. So, there's people who have had platforms a little longer than mine that may not have had, the luxury or the blessing of having, so many views. So I appreciate that. And although I do not have the subscribers that you would think to amount to that number, that tells me that quality beats quantity. Because that's 10,000 hours of watch time with 500 subscribers. Of course, there has to be the shadow watchers. Shout out to y'all. Yes, but that is what is going on over here. So yeah, YouTube, they sent me my little email of popcorn. I got my little popcorn award. So yes, indeed. Oh, here, I want y'all to see this too. Why does everybody have to feel like they have to attach themselves to us? Again, PSA, I stand for Foundational Black Americans. I stand for reparations and justice. Now look at this. So, Olga, for those accusing Ukrainians of being racist, in fact, in many respects, Ukrainians were the black people of Europe until recently, viewed as inferior by those in Western Europe and in Russia, denied their agency, ignored, told to shut up, and patronized. I'm not really certain how you justify anti-blackness with someone else's treatment of you that's not black. See, that has nothing to do with nothing. You know what I mean? But just showing you the subtleties in white supremacy. It's a mindset. It's a religion. It's a belief. These people are in no way mentally disturbed, mentally incapacitated. They are in their right minds, in their correct faculties, in their correct place and form to be in. Black folks have to accept that part. Because then you'll get these coming in. Now, with all of that good old-fashioned black feminism and all of that black misogyny, y'all better keep this in mind. There is always, what's up, Nino Black and Brandon Cruz sings? What's going on? There is always a Becky, a Karen, a Misty, or a Jennifer. And she's ready. All white people owe reparations to African people. Why do you think that says African people? Do you think she doesn't know that she should be saying the descendants of American chattel slavery at least? If she wasn't saying foundational Black American, at least for the descendants of slaves in this country. No, she's got a shirt that says all white people owe reparations to African people. African. Well, man, we're foundational Black Americans, not African. Africa is not our homeland. We are here, a whole nother phenotype. And a lot of us, here's something, let me respond to something too also. I guess let me make this very clear. I'm not mixed. I've said this before on this broadcast, so I know some people missed it. Oh, Lord. Oh, okay. So Olga's just one of those internet Twitter thirst trappers. Gotcha. Thank you, Judah Queen. Oh, she got a check, though. So she's a personality over there. Actress, model, and mom of beautiful boy. Oh, mom. Okay, so she's extremely white. She's overtly white. Look at that. See that? Let me straighten that out there. Now, that's Olga. And Olga has an opinion on what Black folks are saying about how Black folks is being treated over there in Ukraine. Isn't that interesting? It's almost as interesting as how many people have so much to say about our reparations claim. And this is why we're having so many people that are trying to combat our reparations claim. Because we will change the, number one, one thing to see, you will often hear victimhood, and you guys are victims and want to be in victimhood and victim. Well, actually, what they are saying is that's a projection, meaning we want you to stay unfunded so you can remain a victim. Because our community funded is a whole different ballgame. And then other people talking about, oh, well, man, don't you think that would lower the value of the dollar if Black people got it? And then you got other people talking about get your money and get reparations in crypto. What the hell are y'all talking about? Everybody else like, you got some money for them right now, some allocations? Yeah. Here's $16 billion. There you go. So for me, we need to get our folks on this path. And I might do a space on this particular topic. How do we get the bulk of us to become political and spiritual adults? Because right now we have people out here acting like absolute infants. Some are acting like political toddlers. But, you know, and I really hope that the writing is on the wall for a lot of y'all crypto folks. See, here's what I'm saying. See, as a black man in America, it doesn't matter what you actually can even put on paper that you've done. No one will ever consult you for your expertise. Now, I can't say no one, because every now and then I do get people that hit me up, you know, and ask me what I think. However, I remember when I was on Goddess Masterpiece Live one day because she was, you know, kind of taking a shot at New Black Media, and you know, so I jumped in there. It was about Tariq and all the rest of us because it was something weird. But anyway, after that, as we're talking, you know, the conversation got cordial, you know, because, you know, clearly she had me misunderstood for my point. But we got into a conversation and somebody in the chat mentions, man, because I said something about the IRS. It was like, man, not everybody pay the IRS. You know, it made me think, I'm like, damn, this must be young as shit. Because, you know, some of the artists that he don't even know what they've been through already with the IRS. So it's like, okay, have you ever seen Blade, dude? Oh, man, yeah, I seen Blade. Yeah, you know, they put his ass in prison, right? After he paid $5 million. And you think you're going to have some cryptocurrency over here and they can't do nothing to it. What are you talking about? These people was sitting over there, go whack out Muammar Gaddafi in his own, get him out of his palace. And you think they studying you and your Bitcoin? You out your mind, man. They gonna snatch your Bitcoin and be like, you finna take this barcode. I mean, at this point, this whole, well, let's look beyond, look around and how we get, no, the only way, facing it. You want to face it? Face it. But you ain't going to crypto your way around white supremacy. You ain't finna come up with no newfangled business around white supremacy. None of it. So until you confront it, because I mean, you got people up here talking like they ready to build Black Wall Street without ready to defend it again. No, if you ain't ready to get rid of what was the problem, then we couldn't keep a Black Wall Street. There is no point in building it until you're ready to defend it. Doesn't that make sense? And you are not in a political position or a financial position yet. So don't let these ignorant dummies teach you or tell you some madness about how you shouldn't have your reparations. That's why they don't want you to have it. Because that way you are propelling yourself into independence. And because, see, we're talking about repair. Repair. There isn't any other group that needs our repair. You're not sitting up here with generations that have been born into slavery. That's a perpetual loss. Then add that to interest, that many years, that many generations, perpetual loss. Just like these other people have gained ill-gotten means off of slavery, they get a chance to pass that wealth down through the generations, while the people to whom they had in captivity to build the foundation of this country get perpetual poverty. Hell no, we don't need to share that with anyone. And there's nothing that can ever make shame me, because it would be more of a shame for me to degrade the memory of my ancestors who fought on this land, who fought the Klan, who who laid down some of the Klan. All of this foolishness that some of these people have out here on their minds ain't never been revolutionary the first. But first you have to have integrity. And integrity will speak volumes for you even when you're not speaking. Now I'm sure someone won't even understand what that means. So we have to understand, we are in a situation that people have a global agreement to make sure that we are on the bottom perpetually. And we are done with that. So I am looking forward to having a space soon. And we'll discuss kind of, and this is my plan. Because I'm not looking for a big space. I'm looking to build a space for a select few. Because I'm only using that space to gather the collect few. After that, we're going to go to another venue for an off-script conversation. So for the people who want to be seen and all of that, this ain't one of them type of parties. This is a serious discussion. You know how these other people have serious discussions on certain things that would benefit their community. You get a chance to share your ideas with people in a secure setting. You dig? Because one thing we have to understand out here, when we have so many people in agreement, we have a very rich government that will spend millions upon billions upon trillions upon dollars to make sure we never ever get from under being the perpetual underclass. This is exactly why they have us so divided in everything down to, they literally have us divided down to political parties that have shown us nothing but to stand. By now, you should see when the game is on. And the fact that no one can see that, I either have to wonder, are you so content with being a slave? Because they let you roam around and you might be able to have a Benz and whatnot and have a nice house. But if you get out of line with them people, they could take it all from you. Well, then, yes, you're a slave. They just let you live nice. You're just a house Negro that they bought a house for. And they can come get it anytime they want to because you're still in their shit. So, at the end of the day, yeah, you're not free. They just gave you the illusion. Get on this hamster wheel. Where are you, though? You are still in the land that your ancestors built for free. And you acting like you need to be out here doing something for these people with them? How? I would like to say somebody explain that one to me. That's how you always know a person that does not have any history tied to this country. Oh, yeah. Yeah, y'all. I'm foundational Black American. Man, we need to go back to the origins of hip hop, man. Like, man, we need to go back to the Nas days, man. Like the MC Hammer days, man. Like the beginning of hip hop, man. Where you say you from again, brother? Oh, yeah, man. I'm foundational Black American, man. You not foundational Black American, brother. Why ain't I? Always listen for that response. How come I'm not? And I'm telling you, I'm saying this now because these type of people can't help themselves. They're going to do it anyway. How come I'm not? That's not true. Why not? How can you say it's not true? Because you can't prove it. Well, why not? Well, because you haven't proven it. Well, I said it. Yeah, I'm white and I say so don't work in these circles at all. You dig? So always remember, we have a global agreement of being anti-FBA, and the fight against reparations is a perpetual fight. So we must become political and spiritual adults. Can you dig it? So let me see. I might be able to take a few calls. So let me see if I can get it on here. Hopefully I can. You know what I'm saying? You said where your family come from. I know that's right. I mean, because, and again, here, let me say, like I said before, I'm not mixed. And somebody was confused, I guess, because they believe the last name. Well, funny, I say my last name like every broadcast. I guess this person must miss my sign off because they had mentioned it. They knew my last name. Well, considering how I don't hide it. I mean, you could go look at the records I wrote. My name's on them. So I don't know what I would be hiding. Jeez. So with that being said, the name Whitmore actually means white looking more. So if you don't really understand what that means white looking black. And yeah, our bloodline goes back to back when the Moors were ruling Ireland. Next, also, what was the other part? Oh yeah, because someone was confused. Like I guess they thought I had my mother's last name. No, ma'am, I'm a junior. I'm the second. My mama still has that last name. They not together, no. Well, my wife, my kids, same last name. But that's just the natural assumption that I'm the child of a unwed mother. Just like that's just a butt naked assumption, I guess. Then also the fact that she thought she was white. Now, for those of y'all who follow me on Instagram, y'all know getting damn well I literally posted a picture of me and both of my parents. So it's like, okay. Like there's pictures of my parents. They're kid pictures. They're like school pictures. So I mean, if you wanted to know what that was, you see we have BA all day. And if you want to know where my hair from, look, my mom didn't have no perm in school. See, this is the beauty of blackness. There's so many different shades of us and so many different kinds. And, enjoy what it is. And one thing I've always enjoyed is my own lane. So I don't really bother getting in others because I really enjoy my own lane. I think y'all enjoy. Y'all watch me to watch me. Y'all not watching me to see somebody else. If I was doing somebody else's thing, then, you could easily go there. You did? But that's not me. We all have our own, our own little corner to carve out over here. But the one thing we are doing is we are all on code. So the one thing you're not really seeing me I'm not going to spend too much time on is internet beefing. Although some of y'all might see my name being ill-used, that's neither here nor there for me because in this type of situation, you're going to have a lot of that. Because just look at it this way. You will always have people. There's many of stories. The story is a never-ending story. somebody wants to get next to you for whatever reason they see that you might have something going on or have something that they want. Well, that's old song. Here's the other part. Here's the one thing that cannot coexist with being on code. Covetousness. You want to be a coveter? That's way off code. And you can never be on code. You can never be for the people, because as long as jealousy is the driving force in you. And see, no one ever comes out and says, I'm jealous. They will say things like insult to how you look, or project how they feel you interact with other people. They may name drop on you for people who you might have actually just spoke to. But these type of things happen. And we have to understand what's going on. Why are these things happening? Well, as so many years ago, we have came into kind of being more of a unified movement. Like while I was gone, the state of the Black Union. So Tariq, Jason Black, and Professor Black Truth did the State of the Black Union. And then that was dope. So like that's like one of the first things I went and checked out when I got on. Like, man, this was dope. And I really hope that y'all, was tuning into it, because look at what's going on right now. And for the record, that whole George Floyd situation, when I, being probably one of the first people that got sent that video that morning, I never watched it. I just forwarded on to people to whom I knew could make it bigger. See, that's the thing. It's not about recognition for me. So I understand, like, when you hear certain things, somebody could be like, well, hey, man, I see this, I see that. Right. That's important to you, though. What you need to wonder about what's important to me. If you see what I got and I say I'm content, well, then what could you be saying to me that bothers me? I would have to be insecure if that was the case. But, what am I? Well, I mean, what would I be insecure about? I mean, I'm all I'm here is saying what I know. You know what I'm saying? So being able to give you content, break down from my own experiences, my own knowledge and own understanding, and the wisdom imparted in me, I share all of that. And I don't charge. You did. Although there is some other stuff that I would like to get out. So there's another piece that I got to finish. I just, how you create, like, I don't know how many of y'all are creators, but you get those seasons to where like everything is there. And then, other things happen and you're like, kind of like, I wouldn't even really say writer's block, because I don't have writer's block. I'm one of those, that's kind of what even got me noticed when I was young, is because I'm a Johnny on the spot writer, and can make it like right. And so like when I do it, it sounds like the song. I've done songs with first takes. One take. And my one take is really because I went to the studio, ended up on a song that I was literally doing for someone else. But, hey, it's just be that way sometimes. Okay, yeah, put it on your record. It's all good. Because how my mind works, I want to know if I'm talking to a person, say me or you are talking, and I hear the music going, I want to know what's in my head is literally gonna sustain me talking to you. So I'm still talking to you, but I'm still writing in my head. And if I still have it in my head as I'm talking to you, engaged with you, then that's it. Because those are the type of songs that you'll always hear on your radio, right? So that's how I kind of hear music. I hear it inside and out. So it's like, if I hear you talking and I'm still hearing this music playing in my head, well, then that'll work. But there will be some times where it's like, So, yeah, I definitely gotta get back to that and see, like, sitting down and actually like writing. Like, I'm a on the fly type of cat, so just to sit down, it's like, this is annoying. But gotta do it. Gotta do it. Also, we have the still got the shirts coming. We will. I guess we have to sit up here, now that I know how things are being played out here in these YouTube streets. I would have shown y'all kind of what the concept already is, but considering how things are playing out on these internet streets these days, I think I'll hold off on that. Y'all want the Pizza Face t-shirt? No, what is it? No, Pimple Face. I get the Pimple Face shirt. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Turn a buck on pettiness. But what else did I got here? So let me see. I'm gonna give it a shot. Not a guarantee if I can get to these phones. I'm gonna really, really, really try. So hopefully. No, not you, Siri. If I was trying, if I was trying, it would have been nothing. Okay, so here we go. We'll be right back. See if we can get these phones up and try to give it a try. Oh, real quick before I do though. So just a real quick flashback. Never forget this, because this is one part that I always want to make sure y'all see, because I know this has been all over the internet today. And I put this on my Twitter. It's like, always peep how they will put another black person strategically placed to combat your message, especially when your message is the truth.
My name is Yanla Van Zandt, and I am a Yoruba priestess and a cultural custodian. This is not our culture. This book is anti-cultural, anti-African, and anti-historical. Wait a minute. Because our ancestors have said that our key to our growth is love. This book contains no love. It doesn't encourage love. It doesn't support love. And it dismisses the most loving force on this earth, the African woman. Take a break.
So before this broadcast, we looked up something, and because knowing I'm gonna play this video, wanted to know the circumstance of how everything played out. So a report from so many years later, after Geraldo and I'm assuming was at NBC using Ayanna Van Zandt as a plant to usurp the sister Shahrazad Ali, which was promptly blackballed after that. Made sure that they kept her off of everything. Well, for the sister who got up there and Ayanna fixed my life, well, you've seen how many disasters she's put her hands to since. Made for good TV, but wrecked people's lives. Next, she was married twice, divorced twice. Shahrazad Ali, married twice, widowed twice. The difference between Ruth and the commoner. A lot of people are like, I want my Boaz. Are you a widower? Are you a widow? So yeah, she's a widow twice over. So yeah. Real quick, I'm gonna go right back because I want y'all to look at the sister Shahrazad Ali's face. I think at that, like, you could tell the moment when she recognized, like, oh, y'all set me up on some bullshit. Just peep it out.
My name is Iyanla Van Zandt, and I am a Yoruba priestess and a cultural custodian. This is not our culture. This book is anti-cultural, anti-African, and anti-historical. Wait a minute. Because our ancestors have said that our key to our growth is love. This book contains no love. It doesn't encourage love. It doesn't support love. And it dismisses the most loving force on this earth, the African woman. Take a break.
Y'all see her face? You see that moment? You see that moment where it just clicked like, oh, okay. I didn't realize this was much as a problem. See, and I think that's when Shahrazad Ali really learned that the relationship between the black man and the black woman was the target of mainstream dominant culture in society. That long ago. So if you're like in your 20s talking about, I'm a black feminist, you're an enemy to yourself and a traitor to your community, because your daddy is the CIA and your mama is Gloria Steinem, a CIA agent. Bell Hooks, agent. I know a lot of y'all like to throw around all of these Black Panthers that subsequently seem to be able to walk around freely. I'm just saying. So anyway, let's see what we can do about these phones. And I'm going to play this video and we will be right back. Let me see. What am I going to give you? What am I going to give? We're going to do this right here. All right. We will be right back.
This is a gentle reminder of all the things you can do. Only you can shine your hue. Some people tell you what they want you to hear. When they do, it comes through very loud and clear. You have a vision mission in the eye of your mind, as the sage saying goes, seek and nine shall find. Don't allow unsavory thoughts in your head. Fill it with these fabulous ones instead. Winner, done, joy, promise, triumphance, and glee. This is what I say to thee. Remember, when you walk in your own special gate, you're gonna have the ones they're gonna hate. Look up to the sky and know you shine like the sun. When it gets too busy, just know you can always come back to the one. Come back to the source, yeah. Their sound thoughts are valid, they do matter. Know your truth, the truth within your heart will never shatter. Hold your head up high. Be confident as you climb your ladder. Remember, only you can do what you do. Come on, light keeper, gonna illuminate your hue. Show that smile, the one with the joy and the fun. When it gets too loud, just know you can always come back to the one. Come on back to the one within. Hey, hey. All right, lovely people, it's time to sing along, long, long. Let's walk in thine power. Sing, sing. Walk in your power. Hey. Blessings will continue to shower you. To shower you. As long as you shine your view. Go on and walk. Walk in your power. Yeah, yeah. Blessings will continue to shower you. Shower you. As long as you shine. Come on and walk in your power. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you talk about the blessings that will shower. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as only you walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine, only you can shine it bright. Blessings will continue to shower you. Shine. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine your view. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine your view, yeah.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Let me get that off there. All right, we are back. All right, let me put this number in the chat. All right. And about to put the number in the chat. First time callers first. All callers, please keep your calls. Try to keep your calls short and concise, right to the point. And because I want to get as many calls in here as I can tonight. So let me get this. We have to unpin it first. Unpin that, and then we unpin it. So the number is now in the chat. So let me see. Go here. All right. So we are good to go. If you have not called into this broadcast before, you are welcome to call in right now. First time callers first. I know we have a lot of shadow watchers out in the wind, so come on out, come on up. And let me see here. Oh, and while I'm waiting on that, family, remember this, and always remember, this is an old sentiment, but it applies to our reparations conversations globally.
Bringing the children into it any more than we have to. We're doing it for the children, but I don't feel that they are old enough to understand the problem as it is.
Do you think a Negro family moving here will affect the community as a whole?
Definitely.
In what way?
I think that, well, the property values will immediately go down if they are allowed to move in here in any number.
And what of the dream of middle-class respectability? If a Negro family can afford what you can afford, how do you justify your feeling of superiority? What other objections, aside from the effect...
How do you justify your feelings of superiority? Feelings and justification. That means that you are in a position to know whether you are actually superior or not. You have to rely on a feeling of superiority. That's rough. That is rough. Now, we don't have anybody calling yet, so I will open it up to any and everybody. Like I said, let's try to keep the call short, and let's try to get through them. So y'all go ahead and call on in. Tell everybody your name, where you're calling from, and we're gonna roll like that. So hopefully, we got some good sound here. So yeah, like I said, if y'all in, I really would like to hear from the Biden supporter. Is what I really want to hear from. Like, are there any Biden sexuals out there? Share this on your social media. See if there's some Biden sexuals out there. I want to know. I want to know a reason for holding on to the Democrats. Yes.
Call from Silent D.
All right, let me get you in here. All right, there you go, brother. You are in the house. What's going on, my brother? Let them know who you are and where you at. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hopefully, can you hear me?
This is Brother Silent D, everybody. B1, B1. Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. I'm not hearing you on my phone for whatever reason.
Uh-oh. I got it. Wait a minute. Let's see. Hello. You there?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
All right. Okay. I had to go in here and fix it. Okay, we're good. Go ahead.
Like I said, peace and greetings, everybody. This is Silent D from Atlanta, Georgia, originally from South Carolina. South Carolina raised 803 all day. Once again, King Beatzilla, great broadcast, always on fire, bringing us the receipts and the facts. Shout out to you and the rest of New Black Media that keeps bringing us the word and makes sure that we are still on our toes.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so I'm gonna keep this brief. So we're not gonna be able to get our laugh on like we usually do. I might be able to try and tell a joke. I may be able to tell a joke here or there.
No doubt. What you got, brother?
All right, so basically this weekly wrap up. Oh man, things just keep getting interesting and more interesting, especially with the whole war in Ukraine, which everybody seems to be up in arms about it. Which I find it very funny how a certain someone who needs to go ahead and trickle his ass down to Shady Pines already. Him, Gambler, Nasty, Bahosey. Matter of fact, every damn body from both sides of the party. We should start from scratch so we can get in and get our stuff accomplished, because I'm tired of them. But anyway, back to But going back to the Ukraine thing, I'm going to need you to put that flag up, please.
Oh, yes.
Because, yes, put that back up, because that's where I stand as well. We're focused on us foundational Black Americans for our reparations. We're not trying to get our Black selves involved in everything like they love to drag us in. Every issue that comes up, they want to call us to help clean their mess up. I'm sorry, but we're no longer your cleaning people like back in the day. So we're going to need y'all to shut the fuck up and stop that shit right goddamn now.
Real
okay?
Talk. Real talk.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
And then with Kamala Harris, the Queen herself. Although she's not Black, I'm still calling her. She is a special kind of hybrid that I've never seen in my life.
Right.
A crossbreed between a hyena and a coon. It's very, very horrible. It really is. It just is.
I can't disagree.
Mm-hmm. And speaking, and what else can I say? Oh yeah, Good thing you put that up on the screen. Positive fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Actual deceit, concealing something, or making a false representation. Yeah, kind of like what everyone else does in their talking points. When we bring our talk of reparations up, they always talk about how we go through the same struggle. No, the fuck we don't.
Right.
We don't. We are not the same. I don't know why you think LGBT or anybody else with our 400+ year struggle and still going through that stuff today thinks that y'all have the right to compare about what we're going through. And also try to take over our talking points. Kind of like that Snow Roach that nobody even asked for. Putting her fist up talking about reparations for African people. No, heifer. Yeah. And she wants us to think that she's stupid more than she lets on. I'm not putting out the pastor. She knows exactly what she's aiming for. Nah, baby, we're gonna stop you right in your tracks. This is for us foundational Black Americans. Thank you very much.
Facts.
Us that are born on this soil.
Facts.
Like I'm born in South Carolina. Like I'm born in Columbia, South Carolina. You're from Portland, Oregon.
Yes, indeed.
So, one of our moderators, she's in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
We got folk up in Georgia too. I think I made my point.
Yes, indeed.
And it just amazes me how white supremacy just goes so far to keep their image above. They're willing to throw even their own under the bus. Going back to the Ukraine war.
Right.
What is going on with this inflation?
I think it's more or less, you got to remember, one thing can be used for an opportunity to a means to an end. So if you're looking at sinking the economy, now is the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yep, and not a lot of folk will see that hot iron coming their way.
Well, they should, because that's the whole reason for Biden getting on the cryptocurrency thing. So basically, he's making sure that dot is over that I and that T is crossed. So when the Gestapo get to doing what they do, everybody with that cryptocurrency is going to recognize that it's just got the same value as money. Because they're going to tell you what it's valued.
In other words, it's nothing special.
That's it. There ain't no way around them people.
Nope.
To and through.
Yeah. Yep. I once was invested in cryptocurrency, but I kind of gave that up, considering that I knew something was fishy about it, especially the whole blockchain situation, which we know how far that can go.
Yep. And I played a little bit of that on this broadcast before, did I not? Which is also tied into that MOTB.
Oh yeah.
So So what else you got before I let you go, brother?
Last thing, Carolyn Bryant, her old prune ass needs to get done up right about now. She needs to be under the jail with no air whatsoever, especially for what she did to Emmett Till.
Thanks.
And before how long has she been protected for? Like damn near 80 years, 70 years in her life, and she's living comfortably while one of our own got cut off at an early age for, what was it that she accused him against? Sexually advancing on her or something?
By way of whistling. By way of whistling. So his whistling at her was considered back then they would consider that rape. That's sexual.
Oh, wow.
That's sexual assault.
Hello, feminist.
And who would have that history? The government.
Yep. The government.
Man.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. Right on, brother. Thank you for being the first caller of the night.
You are most welcome. Thank you for taking my call. And Royal Fam, Black Fam, all of my melanated people around the world, those of us who are on code, we know what the mission is, and we're going to stay on it, and we're going to stay on those who want to get in our way.
Right.
We're not letting up, and they see that. Other than that, thank you for these great broadcasts. Thank you for taking my call. You keep doing what you're doing. Be one, stay safe, and blessed.
Be one,
Much
brother.
love, King.
Be one, my brother. Peace. All right. That was Silent D Productions in the house. Anybody else in here got to want to chime in? Like I said, anybody got somebody in the house that voted for Joe Biden? That, you know, anybody out there have remorse for voting for Joe Biden? I've seen a few people tweeting that, and that's fair. It makes sense to me. All right, hold on. Let me get you on in here. There you go. So tell them your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Beatzilla, Judah Queen calling from Maryland. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. Just wanted to call in before I get ready for bed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna still be listening though. So great broadcast. A lot of information that I need to look further into. And Biden just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's the same. Sorry, my brother's playing something loud.
Oh no, that's all right.
So I was listening to him. I think that's the same address. Where he was speaking. I think it was it said winter meeting. It was on Fox News on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I literally played. It was like 20-some minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to it. It was just so many lies.
Right. Blatant lies.
It's like he was gassing himself up.
Right.
He has done nothing beneficial for anyone but himself, and these other politicians. They're just so disgusting, especially him and Kamala. And all she wants to do is cackle like a hyena. But I was listening to him speaking, and I literally was falling asleep.
Mm.
It was just so I don't even know how I listened to that, but I did because I need to listen to more what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate the new black media, especially like you, Queen Amadaya, Jason Black. You know, I listen to others too. Baba
Rashan, yes, Elder Baba.
Yeah.
Shout out to the elder.
Yeah, shout out to Elder. I love him. But yeah, it was just crazy. He just sounds so asinine. Like I'm like, he need to be put in a nursing home like right now. Like Queen Amadou saying Shady Pines. Come on, he's waiting.
It is.
And,
it really is.
Yeah. And Kamala Harris was she had shared about the anti-lynching bill, and she acting like she really cared about Emmett Till. Like you the same one who agreed with Tim Scott saying America isn't a racist country.
Very true.
But white supremacy is a problem. But America isn't a racist country. Like make it make sense for real.
Right.
It really doesn't make sense.
America's not a racist country.
Right, but Emmett Till never received justice. Exactly. I mean, 14 years old. This is very like this just something that really hits hard. Even though I'm not his family, but something that my parent, my mother especially, she's the one who taught us about Emmett Till. Because we didn't learn any of that in school. She didn't learn it in school.
Oh wow.
I don't think they are teaching about Emmett Till in school. They need to.
Wow.
And not just to like let people know about the situation, but campaign for him his family to receive justice.
Right.
And it's sad. And this biatch, Carolyn Holloway Bryant Donham, she's still alive. She's living in Raleigh, North Carolina, I believe.
That's what I hear.
And yeah, I saw the video because I thought she was still in Mississippi, but she must have moved up here sometime, you know. But yeah, and she had a chance to get chance to get remarried, because her and Roy Bryant, one of the killers,
right,
the killer, he they got divorced. So Emmett Till's murder, all that caused like divide, because people in Mississippi, they I think they like turned their backs on him after finding out. But the real, like, what really happened?
What really happened?
They was profiting off of that murder.
Well, that was, you know, that was politics. That was politics. They didn't give a damn.
Yeah, they don't, because they still shooting up his sign. They shooting up his memorial sign.
Absolutely,
but
every year.
That after the murder, their whole the community, the black people, they boycotted their store, Bryant's Grocery, and it closed down. And the thing is, their asses were poor.
Right.
They was living off the store. If it wasn't for our black dollars, they wouldn't be even making that.
Right.
So yeah. But
right. No, that's real talk.
I learned that. Because I didn't know that when I first found out. But yeah. So we really need to get justice for our brother. What would you say?
No, I'm a wrap up on what you said after I get off with you, because there's something you said I want to address. But anything else before I let you go?
Just keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for having me. Thank you for providing this platform. Very much appreciated. Forget the haters. You are a king.
Thank you so
I love
much.
you, Beatzilla.
Thank you. Love you
we
back.
We all love you in this B1 space.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to keep on doing what we're doing. We're just going to ignore the fraudulent black agents.
Yes, indeed. Thank you to the Queen.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a blessed night.
You too.
Be one.
Well. Be one.
Yes, indeed. Got to watch out for the agents. And again, like I was saying, the Emmett Till situation, you had the family members that are asking for justice. And the fact of the matter is, I was able to learn about these things growing up, not necessarily in school, but that was kind of the climate that I grew up in. So there was a lot of, I guess, kind of Black history, Renaissance type of deal going on when I was a kid. So I'm kind of spoiled that way because we got a chance to hear the real deal. And then there's a whole bunch of other lynchings because, for me, I had family members, that were still living when I was a kid. So hearing stories from the South, when you hear, when a little kid sees a body swinging from a tree, things is crazy, man. All right, hold on. Let me get you on in. Let me get you in the mix. All right. Let them know your name and where you calling from.
Buginis from ratchet ass Florida.
What's going on, Buginis?
Oh Lord, how you doing?
Good. Now, are you in North Florida or like South Central?
I'm in Central, like I'm, I guess, like 30 something minutes east of Orlando, so I'm like in the middle.
Okay.
By the ocean.
Yeah, ain't that that's still like a humid territory, like tropical rainy territory, ain't it?
Yeah, she stay greasy like you've been frying chicken or looking like Whitney Houston on stage all day long. Just shining. You know Whitney could sweat. Even when she was standing still, she didn't dance much, but she sweated up a storm. You would have thought she was dancing like Beyonce. That's how you be looking in Florida.
I know that's right.
Your hair would catch hell down here.
I know that's right. What you got for us, McGinnis?
I'm just gonna rattle it off real quick. Okay. I was on YouTube about a week ago, and I don't know how I got this. Some kind of video came in my feed, and it was an old video from like 1999, and they were interviewing some white guy who I'm assuming was Jewish by his last name. It was something, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Horowitz. And he had written a book called, oh God, what was it? Hating Whitey, something about black racism in America. But anyway, his whole book was about how black people are being racist towards white folks by, I guess,
I remember that.
Basically holding them accountable for their bullshit.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that.
And I couldn't bear to listen to more about 5 minutes of it because he was pissing me off. So I was looking at the comments, and there was some comment by a guy who claimed, you know, he was Irish or whatever. And he was like, oh, well, we need to stop harping on that. You know, my people were, you know, subjugated to and went through stuff.
Right.
And I know I shouldn't have responded to him because I know he was talking bullshit. And I know it ain't true, but I had time that day. So I commenced to writing a dissertation. It took me about 45 minutes. And YouTube ended up deleting it. I went to look it up the very next day to read it off to a friend, and it was totally gone. So I don't know if he reported it or YouTube just, if something in it flagged it, even though I used emojis and code words, they got me, honey, and deleted that thing. I was mad. But I basically told him, because this is the thing with other people jumping in, trying to claim a piece of our pie that they did not help bake in any way, shape, form. They didn't even help roll out the dough for the crust. And they want to slice the pie. And he was saying, I told him, I said, listen, when you and your ancestors came over on them ships with nothing but one pair of shoes and a stack of potatoes to your name, because you know Irish people love potatoes. That's what they say. Since we want to go into stereotypes, I was being petty that day. I said, how is that you claim the white man oppressed you and you're different from them, but yet, what do you, when you go to fill out government forms, when you are filling out the information for your driver's license, what do you check? Because last time I checked, they don't have a section for Irish, Italian, Jewish. You're either black, white, Hispanic, or other, or Native American or Eskimo or something like that, depending on the form.
Right.
So how are you going to claim that they oppress you, but then when it comes down to filling out your government forms to get certain benefits, you claim to be exactly what your oppressor is?
Absolutely.
So, and the thing is, it's a whole game of intellectual dishonesty because people want to act like because they're from a certain region. Well, I'm Irish, so that means I was oppressed because Irish people were oppressed during the potato famine or whatever happened in history. But my thing is, people act like the race game is based on your regionality and not your color. In America, at least the whole world, but I'm going to talk specifically to America, race is based on color. And people try to act like it's not.
Right.
You can't claim you're oppressed. Like Whoopi, is the whole thing with Whoopi Goldberg when she said, you know, the Jewish people, it was two white people, groups of white people. Right. It was a form of tribalism amongst the white people going against each other. But they try to act like, no, it was one race against another. No, you're still white.
Right.
Because if the cop stops you, he's not going to look at you and be able to tell you're Irish or you're from the northern part of Switzerland. He's going to see you're a white man. He's going to let you go on about your day and give you a warning, if that. But me, if I said, well, you know, officer, you can't arrest me, you can't beat my ass because I'm from Ireland. He's going to be like, no, your ass is black because he's going off of skin color. And these people are being intellectually dishonest, acting like race, how we determine race over here is not based on skin color, not where you're from or your ethnicity.
Right.
But anyway, that's that. To Bill Cosby and Jussie Smollett.
Yes, indeed.
And people talking about how they can't go back in time for reparations and we can't figure out who needs to get what because it's too far back in time and we need to let it go. It happened so long ago. Didn't what Bill Cosby supposedly did to all these women happen how many years ago? probably before I was born. It was in the 70s. I was born in 80.
Right.
So, but you can dig way back then and convict him for something then, but you can't go back 400 years, a century.
Ouch. Ouch.
I'm just saying. That wasn't too far in the past for you.
Ouch.
But anyway,
Woo.
onto your channel. How you screw to keep effing with you. But I'll say this about it. You can at least take pride in the fact that you know you're doing something right, because if they aren't effing with you, you're doing something wrong. I look funny any channel, especially if you have huge numbers and large subscribers, but you're never getting your videos flagged. You're never getting suspended.
Right.
You ain't doing something right.
Right.
They're too comfortable with you, because if you were doing something right, they'd be on your ass like they are you and Amadeus.
Absolutely.
And these dumb ass idiots, these elite people, whoever's running ScrewTube in these platforms, they don't realize by the fact that they're censoring you, they're giving credence to what you're saying. Because my whole thing is, if somebody is beneath me or what they're saying isn't true and it's just drivel or whatever, I'm just gonna ignore them and let them talk, because whatever you are is gonna prove itself. You don't have to say you're smart. If you're smart, you're gonna prove you're intelligent when you talk and when you do things. If you're beautiful, you don't need to say you're beautiful. People are gonna automatically see it.
That's a fact.
So if you're telling the truth, why am I gonna waste my time trying to censor you if I already said what he's saying is cockamamie? There's no truth to it. Just let the person talk. It'll die down eventually and wear itself out. But the fact that they're going out of their way to shut down people like you lets me know that what you're saying does have credence.
Very true.
But then they'll kill all these people. They'll turn up dead. Oh, well, he was just conspiracy theorist. How did all of them turn up dead? You mean to tell me out of 10 people, all of them had tragic accidents or had suicides? I'm not a math genius, but I do know enough about probability to know there's no way in heaven or hell or anywhere in between that a whole bunch of people are all going to die the same way, and they all were in the same faction.
And you know what's funny? I'm glad that Smollett actually said that too, because he was like, "Hey, just for the record, I ain't suicidal. I want y'all to teach this mask down. I ain't suicidal, and I didn't do this, but I just want y'all to know I ain't suicidal. I'm in my right mind. I'm going in there. If something happened to me, I did not harm myself."
Oh, I didn't even know he said that. I'm glad he did.
Yes, he did. I was like, good job, brother. Good job. Because, I mean, it's almost it's that damn serious now. Like, you literally don't have to say, well, wait a minute. Hey, y'all, I ain't suicidal and I ain't trying to kill myself. Something happened to me off up in there. I did not harm myself. Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, but basically, I mean, that's it pretty much in that, as far as Carolyn Dunham Bryant or whatever, Bryant Dunham. I'm just, that woman lied 80-something, or, well, she wasn't 8, she probably was 20-something at the time. Right. So 60-something years ago, because she's in her 80s now. She told a lie way back then. Now, see, this is the hypocrisy. They went back and got Bill Cosby for something he did a long time ago. Justice Smollett just told a lie, 2 years ago now? And Rahm Emanuel stayed on his neck until he put that Negro in jail because he was mad Justice beat white people at the game that they usually pull on us and get away with it. But this woman lied 60-something years ago.
66.
But they don't want to go back and call her up on her lie.
Right.
And put her ass in jail. It's not too late to go put her ass in jail, but they had to go back and get Cosby and put him in jail for way back when.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Big facts. Big facts.
But that's it, honey.
Well, I am so appreciative. You always come in with the fire, Buginis, and always welcome to call into this broadcast. It's always enjoyable and a great laugh, man, because you sneak them jokes in there, man. You definitely need to
These demons be pissing me off.
You need to be doing something with that. You need to be doing something with that, my brother. So, just to put that in the wind, brother, you might want to consider doing something with that. But yes.
I ain't got what it takes to coon and be in Hollywood like Steve Harvey and some of the other people, so I wouldn't make it very far. Because I'm not willing to sign on the satanic dotted line. So
I know that's right. I know that's right. So I appreciate it. Man, thanks so much for calling. And I will talk to you later. You have a blessed night, my brother. Thank you so much.
Good broadcast. See y'all later.
All right. All right. That was Buginas dropping the fire as always. Always. And man, he can sneak the jokes in there. He really need to be like, just imagine hearing him go for like on a subject for maybe like a minute and a half, just give it real quick and just hit bam, bam, bam with the facts and jokes and facts. I'm just saying, jokes and facts. Jokes, yeah. You know, tell the kids, just run that idea by the good sister. So just throw it out there and see what she said. Jokes and facts. Yes, indeed. Going on a tangent. Man, for a minute and a half, just let him rip. Wow, boy. I'm just saying, you know. Hey, because you ain't got to worry about doing it their way. All you got to worry about is doing it the real way. You know what I'm saying? And then just let everything else do what it do. You understand? Because, hey, man, I'm a firm believer in people using what gifts they have. And because, see, we are naturally gifted people. We have people who are naturally talented with their hands. I mean, like, growing up in our community, who don't know somebody that could pretty much fix your whole damn house? And they might not even do that for a living. I mean, growing up in our community, man, is completely different. Man, your grandma can sing like Mahalia Jackson, but never cut a record. You know, you got relatives that could go be anywhere. You know, man, please. Growing up black, you know, we may be a permanent underclass, but boy, there are certain elements in our culture. That's the one thing that I guess that's the last thing left. You guys don't have any culture. Really? Well, in the words of good old Uncle Yoki, George Clinton, let's take it to the stage. I mean, because I'll tell you for a fact, you put me and my band to the test, we gonna whoop your ass. But, yeah, where are you from? All comers. Bring them all. We can go to the stage and tell me who created what. I'll tell you what. Me and my band will show up without a already made song. We'll just come up and freestyle. How about that? We'll even let you come in here with your prepared little songs. You want to see how I get down? I will whoop your ass. Let's take it to the stage. Oh, we do this, baby. We do this. Please believe it. So, you know, we have a lot to deal with as a people. One of the things is just people trying to deter our message because it benefits them, you know, when we're losing. Let's keep it a buck. Just think about it. The system of white supremacy, how do they benefit from us getting reparations? All of the tether class that benefit while getting all the extra goodies to come in our communities and getting all them extra set-asides that the government has. See, they might be looking at that as the faucet being shut off because dang, now they got to pay them niggas over there. And not only that though, they gonna have their whole little community already moving without us, and they don't need us to thrive. You feel me? So you got to understand the severity of what people are fighting against. It ain't just about blatant hating. No, it's about dollars and cents. You got homeowners calling into these spaces. What they so concerned about us getting reparations for if it doesn't have an implication on them. So just understand don't even listen to my words. We finna just play that again, because don't take it for granted that this sentiment is perpetuated throughout all these generations.
Bringing the children into it any more than we have to. We're doing it for the children, but I don't feel that they are old enough to understand the problem as it is.
Do you think a Negro family moving here will affect the community as a whole?
Definitely.
In what way?
I think that, well, the property values will immediately go down if they are allowed to move in here in any number.
And what of the dream of middle-class respectability? If a Negro family can afford what you can afford, how do you justify your feeling of superiority? What other objections?
First was the controversial Reverend Jeremiah Wright.
I say America, America's mother, America's daddy, America can eat a dick, America can lick the balls.
Because, see, of this.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
And then, boy, let me tell you, as soon as we could get a hold of a reparations check, you're going to have all of these people out here, all of them tethers over here like this.
I mean, where is JJ getting all this cash?
And of course, I mean, just like all of these people over here going over to Ukraine, it's like we see the truth now, and we understand what the problem is.
No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. 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 No medicine.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. No milk either. No milk or mayonnaise. And see, that's funny. Mayonnaise or miracles. No miracles, no mayonnaise. Well, some of the problems that we're having with the miracles are those miracle opioid pills. Boy, what would they do without those miracle opioid pills? See, right now, over the past weekend, we had 3 opioid deaths, overdoses, because these pills that they were taking had fentanyl in them. So what they're doing is putting out a notice of, hey, there's some illegal, or not illegal, but because actually both sets of pills that they put on TV are illegal, but actually because it's white people and their drugs. They just told you, hey, this pill on the top got fentanyl in it, and this is the regular illicit drug that you're supposed to be taking that does not have fentanyl in it. This is where we are at today when white people are drug addicts. Hey, not that my kid is a drug addict. Oh, man, we got to get this dirty dope off the street. I mean, my kid's a stone cold junkie. But I mean, hey, man, I don't want any of your junkie children to end up dying off the bad junk. Make sure they put this on the news. This pill here has fentanyl in it. It almost looks like this pill to which you would get from your local illicit drug dealer, but this doesn't have fentanyl in it. So be mindful that this one has fentanyl. See the marking? And then this is the good dope. See, this opioid here is the one you're supposed to be taking. I kid you not. It was literally on the news today. And they're talking about this like as if these kids who just OD'd just ran. Oh, well, he said he got it from his friend. Well, then both of them are junkies. I mean, God, what are you talking about? He got the opioids that killed him from his friend. Hey, he didn't get no prescription for that. Ain't no high school kid getting multiple strips for opioids. What are you kidding? No, these are junkies. But because they're white, I guess it's okay. And, you know, you just got to put up bad pill, good pill. Now, if your dope dealer is selling this pill, don't get this pill. Get another drug dealer and get the right pill. This is the opioid you're supposed to have. That's almost as bad as, see, oh no, this is not a crack pipe in it. It's a crack pipe, meth pipe, and a syringe. See, that's misinformation. Tell people they got crack pipes in it. Hell, they got meth pipes and syringes too. False information. This place is done for, man. Absolutely freaking done. Game over, man. Game over. For those of you who are old enough to know where that's from. Game over, man. Oh, Lord, if y'all have ever seen, was it Aliens 2? Game over. Good dope and bad dope. Really, though. They really had that on the news like it was a real... You almost see that? I almost just slipped out. Because I'm telling you, we watched this on the news having our coffee like, what the hell is this? They up here talking about this boy like he ain't no damn junkie. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me he's had a drug problem for a minute and you're putting the bad and the good dope that he OD'd on? Parents, I don't want you to be having, because there's a few other mothers that are really sad right now. I just want other parents to know. Inform your kids. Make sure they know which. But y'all are the same ones saying that we shouldn't be having CRT. While your kids are stuck on D-rubs. See, here's what's so funny. We've had a whole community that actually was bombarded with crack and then actually made a comeback with people who recovered. So you have a whole recovery industry that basically is based off of the attempted destruction of black folks. Black folks still bounce back from crack. Man, you talk about the unstoppable. That's what we are. And we have to make sure that we operate in such a manner. If we wasting our time trying to argue with one another and bicker with one another, that is a waste of time. And that is definitely not my agenda. You know, a lot of people would say a lot of things about clout chasing. Well, I mean, I guess if a person who had no accomplishments in their life and was trying to find themselves today, that person could possibly be mistaken for a cloud chaser. I get it. However, I'm not in that boat. I understand how people be saying, well, I don't know that. Trust me, we ain't in the same boat. Ain't ever been and will never be. But, you know, I get, and this is the thing I'm glad that the internet allows. It allows people to be personable with other people, so you get a chance to kind of interact with how people are. You know, for those that when you start interacting offline, you get a chance to see what time it is. And like I say, you will always see the same thing for me because I wasn't going to represent anything else online. So the whole thing about consistency is I've never been inconsistent. So if anything is said about me, one of the important things to know about me is a lot of the stuff that I will do and do on behalf or for other people will never be known publicly. But what does happen by way of that is relationships. So you establish positive relationships, positive networking. Maybe that's something maybe we might get into down the road. Positive networking skills. Because we have a lot of people here that do have a lot of good content or things to say. And for me, you got to be understanding of everybody is not going to be for everybody. So I totally get that. However, one thing that we have learned how to do in our community very well is burn bridges. Some people can't be helped, but for those who are not in that position, who still want to do something else, or maybe just reverse some generational curses or something like that, you know, maybe we might get into that conversation down the road. Now I'll do something make that a different broadcast. You know, but we might have to do that and do a call in. Matter of fact, I wonder how I can do that. That might be a Patreon thing. Y'all need to go follow me on Patreon. I believe the way I have it set up right now, if I remember correctly, you should be able to follow for free. If not, it's under $5. But I want to start doing stuff like that there, because if it's more of a personal type situation where I want that audience to be a lot slimmer than even what we have here, because again that's more of a offline show. And to deal with those different type of topics. So I would like to do that. So go check beatzillapdx official at Patreon. And then we will be able to get into that. So it looks like nobody else is calling, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of here. And we are going to get ready to roll on out. But with these little few parting words here, let me just say this. We have to be mindful at all times that we and our objective and agenda has a world against it. Sometimes some of the infiltrators will look like you. They have to be, because an infiltrator can't look like an outsider and successfully infiltrate. So at the end of the day, we are coming into crunch time to where you must vet everyone, vet everything, vet these people's history. See, one thing that we are doing and will be a criteria for things that I'm a part of. See, there's things coming down the pike to where your internet history might get reviewed just to even be eligible. Well, no, your internet history is going to be reviewed to be eligible. You understand what I'm saying? So the vetting process will be thorough. We're not going to do the, oh, well, you know, just because this person's black and we all, no, we're not going to do that. No, because, see, we know all skin folk and kinfolk, and not every person that is looking like us, and even from our own neighborhoods and blocks, have our interests and best interests as a community in mind. And it just is what it is. So we will have to address it as we have to address it, with reality, truth, righteousness, and persistence. And anybody who really has any desire not to see that one through, in my opinion, is off code. So one thing you won't see me doing is a whole lot of internet beefing. And a lot of that is really just for attention when you see people doing that anyway. So as you see, I've already said my piece on it. No need for me to even keep responding to it. And you already see I go through my troubles on YouTube. But once more, thank everyone who has been watching up to the past 10,000 hours watched mark in less than 2 years, meaning that people are literally putting the time in and watching these broadcasts, and to get it up to that type of time, in that short of time, that's 10,000 plus watch hours. So I appreciate every last one of y'all, and you know, hopefully soon enough I can figure out how we are going to get everything set up and whatnot. But shirts coming down the pike in the future. There are 2 right off the rip. So we'll see how we'll work those out. I might just roll out the first one first, and then follow it up with the second. But nonetheless, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, y'all will be able to get y'all statements, because yes, these shirts definitely make a statement. So when somebody, hey, well, what does your shirt say? And you know, there's also at the end of the year, you have the Retasese holiday. So, you know, and actually there's going to be a Retasese run coming up here soon in Orlando and also online. So it'll be, you could attend virtually, and you can also be there. You did? So he said, y'all love a shirt. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna get y'all right. You know, we're gonna get together and make sure it happens the right way, because Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. And with that being said, you can follow me at Instagram, beatzillapdx, Twitter, beatzillapdx, Facebook, beatzillapdx, Patreon, beatzillapdx official, and on Melanated People at Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. See, I actually literally say Michael Whitmore every broadcast. I know your real name. I think everybody who watch my shows do. Anyway, how else would you find music that I'm on? TJ, hope everything is well. Oyela Arquette, you got you a new profile picture. I see your sister. All right. I ain't see Denise Soul pop up. Denise Soul pop up in the chat. Where are you at? She probably done sat the phone down and listening. And I appreciate all of my night riders out there on the East Coast. All y'all, I really appreciate y'all because y'all be hanging late with the fam here. And I thank y'all so much. You said not yet? Oh, okay. She might already turned on in and have to catch the replay. It's all good. But so thank you for all of y'all support. Of course, once again, my chief moderator, Viewer One, thank you for your contribution and everything that you do and everything you continue to do, and just keeping it solid. Really appreciate that. And also, appreciate the work you've been doing on other people's platforms, helping them get up because we need more positive voices in these spaces. See, again, that's what I'm saying. I'm the one that looks at, hey, we need this and this and that. You need to be doing this and that. We all need to be pushing this. I'm not I'm not a crab in the barrel. That ain't what I am. So I don't really subscribe to that. Never been my style, so I ain't gonna start now. So with that being said, you could email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And of course, if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket by way of donation, you definitely can at CashApp, $beatzillapdx. That is CashApp, $beatzillapdx. And of course, we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading on out. But one more time before I go, I got to play this.
My name is Iyanla Vanzant, and I am a Yoruba priestess and a cultural custodian. This is not our culture. This book is anti-cultural, anti-African, and anti-historical. Wait a minute. Because our ancestors have said that our key to our growth is love. This book contains no love. It doesn't encourage love. It doesn't support love. And it dismisses the most loving force on this earth, the African woman. Take a break.
The look on the Queen's face is like, yeah, you've been set up. And then, like I said, next thing you know, Iyanla Vanzant got the big career, and they tried to shortstop all of that black folks. Oh, because the other thing that Shahrazad Ali is famous for is getting off of the pig. That's one of her other bestsellers. A lot of people don't know that. I wonder why. They want black folks to keep eating that pork. They want you to keep eating pork. You better start looking at pork like that damn jab. I'm just saying. Shellfish too. And with that being said, stay healthy, eat right, eat healthy. You know what I'm saying? Get them good fresh herbs in your diet. If you are around a store that has those packaged herbs, start fooling with those, implement them into your diet. You'll start noticing your digestive system. You'll be fine. You dig? You won't have to be worried. You got a colon cleanse. Yeah. Get them things in your diet. It'll work. So with that being said, y'all have a blessed and wonderful evening. And of course, you know how we do on Fridays. We rock out with the Southern groove, you dig? Because before there was Zaytoven, there was Beatzilla. Shalom, y'all.
When you know who Satan is,
Yes, sir.
you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth.
Yes.
See, that's what you throw.
Yes, right.
Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.